injured in an accident, you need a lawyer, and you deserve an advocate. Because every accident has a ripple effect. It affects your time, your health, your ability to make money, everything. That's where the advocates can help. Speaking with an attorney is simple and 100% free. We're available 24/7 for your convenience, and we'll take on the claims process so you can rest easy. Because you're not just a client to us, you're a person, and you deserve the best help you can get. You deserve an advocate.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, The Monty Show live on your YouTube machine. As always, we are presented by The Monty Show is presented by The Advocates at theadvocates.com. Don't forget, we're less than a week away from their blood drive. And if you can believe it, you guys, you're amazing. Our Salt Lake City listeners, awesome. They only have 16 spots left in their blood drive. Get to utahblood.org. Search for a March 10th blood drive. Sign up for the Advocates on March 10th. Jake and I will both be there donating blood. Come out and meet us. We'll be at the Advocates office next Monday, March 10th, from 10 to 2. Schedule your appointment. Let's do a meet and greet. Let's go. Donate blood. I again say, every 3 seconds in this country, somebody needs a blood transfusion. Every 3 seconds. The demand for blood is incredible. Get to utahblood.org and meet us at the Advocates next Tuesday afternoon. Or no, shut up. Next Monday afternoon. I'm a mess. Next Monday, March 10th, 10 to 2. Blood drive. The Advocates. Midvale, Utah. Do it. Just do it.
Yeah, just do it. You know?
utahblood.org. Again, you got to search by the date. utahblood.org, March 10th, The Advocates. There's only 16 slots left. That is not a lot of slots. Let's get those filled up today. And I should say, if you sign up, and maybe we do it, I was going to say this week, but maybe we try to get those spots filled over the next few days. If you sign up to donate blood with the Advocates, we'll give away a $25 Amazon gift card. And in fact, if you sign up to donate blood, we'll give it to you in person at the Advocates office in Midvale next Monday from 10 to 2, where they are doing a blood drive. So hook it up, utahblood.org. March 10th is the date you need to search for. Click on the Advocates, and we'll see you there. Let's do some shout-outs before we get to the ACC Conference. Or I should say, before we get to We Told You So Tuesday. We're humble on this show.
We would never say anything like that.
You know, the real Pete Forte getting the pro rata he deserves. Hello, Pete. Lopes fan Gabe. Lopes up. Good to see you. Midweek Coug. Welcome to the nightmare. Sergeant Morehue. Conundrum. Always average to see you, Conundrum. The awkward guy. Is this the ACC trying to play it cool? How is this the ACC playing it cool? Conundrum. Florida judge gave the ACC a Cena nutcracker ruling last week. He did? I don't think in any way, shape, or form, and this is kind of the interesting talking point in this ACC Florida State lawsuit. One of the questions I have is, who won the lawsuit? Well, when it's filed by Florida State, wouldn't you think that Florida State would have to be the one to make the move? And I don't think in any way, shape, or form Florida State can claim victory here. Are they going to get more money in distribution? Sure. If you did not see the terms of the settlement, the ACC and Florida State, as well as Clemson, essentially came to a settlement that says, hey, if you get more TV ratings, you're going to get more money distribution from the ACC. That's essentially what this comes down to. Money will be given to the universities who perform through television viewership. That's how the distribution is going to go. I think it is the exact right way to go about it. I think that maybe the spin here is, as you hear from Florida State and Clemson fans, Clemson doesn't have any fans. So Florida State fans, the spin you're hearing is that, oh, well, we won because you didn't win. There is no win here. I don't care how much distribution you get over the next 5 years, let's say. I don't care how much you get. You're never making back the legal fees. You're never making back the Ron DeSantis gave you $1 million money. You're never making that money back. And the hard part is, I understand that everybody's got to claim they got a victory here. But Jake, my answer to who won the ACC lawsuits is absolutely nobody.
Yeah, and let's not forget what the original stated goal of these lawsuits was. The original goal was to leave the conference. The original goal was, hey, we're going to go to the SEC. And then when that dream died, hey, we're going to go to the Big Ten. And then when that dream died, you stayed in the conference. So you didn't really win anything. Ultimately, what you did here is you made the best of a situation. You made, the best situation you could out of a situation that essentially turned into, you're not going to leave the conference. You burned all this cash on legal fees. You took a massive hit to your reputation in the college football landscape without question. Nobody disagrees on that. And now you're just sitting here and you want to say, yeah, we won the lawsuit because we're getting, performance-based revenue distribution. I got news for you. Performance-based revenue distribution was going to happen whether you sued the ACC or not. That was coming down the pipe. We're seeing it in the Big 12. The ACC was inevitably going to go to that, and so are the other conferences, because there's just too much money involved in these big games to be giving out handouts to schools that are not playing on the same level as Florida State and Clemson. So I'm not going to sit here and say you won anything. You're just simply, basically picking up the scraps of a failed effort to break a grant of rights and leave a conference that's treated you really well over the years. And I might also remind people, a conference that you went to because you wanted an easier path to a national championship instead of going to the SEC when you had the chance all those years ago. So let's not sit here and characterize it as, hey, Florida State, has some incredible winning core and they're just crushing souls, because that is absolutely not what happened here. What happened here is you tried something, you failed at that, and now you're just trying to clean it up, and this is your solution.
Well, and I think everybody will likely point to, the buyout number being defined on some level. And we're going from a number where Florida State was basically saying it's going to cost us $500 million to get out of this, to, a declining buyout number, which I think makes a lot of sense. But let's make no mistake about it. You're not, if you are, Florida State or Clemson, like I love all the people talking about how, that North Carolina is going to the Big Ten. How? If North Carolina was going to the Big Ten, don't you think they would have made that move already? And I think there's this pie in the sky idea that when this settlement comes out this afternoon, because it should be around noon, that we get a real clarity about what the exacts on this are. When this settlement comes out this afternoon, you know what the number of the buyout is. For all the jackwagons saying North Carolina is leaving, they're just going to make their announcement as soon as they know the buyout number, right? They're just going to cut a check. Michael, MJ, Jordan, he's just going to sell one of his jets and cut a check so that North Carolina can go join the Big Ten, right?
No, they're going to pick up the whole university and move it to the Midwest as well, right?
It's amazing to me, the people who want to speak with certainty. There's no evidence that you can get out of this grant of rights. And I would remind you, if you pay the buyout, that still does not secure your media rights. Like I think this is more about a revenue share based on performance than it is about getting out of the conference.
Yeah, and I think Florida State's main concern is saving face. That's all they care about. You're going to hear them today
getting a win on some level.
Yeah, they're going to come out and say that they got to win on some level, and this lawsuit
never wanted to break up this conference.
We never wanted to be the asshole in the room,
what?
Even though our whole initiative. Remember, and this is what I love. We have in this world now selective memory. We don't want to remember the fact that early on in this process, Florida State said, this conference is trash. This conference is not good. We're the best team in this conference.
They damaged our brand.
Like,
They damaged our value.
And now on the day that the settlement finally comes down, not on the day where you look like an idiot with the ESPN contract angle.
Well, Jake, it was illegal. There was malfeasance and fraud in the ESPN.
There was corruption.
I mean,
it's
come
fraud. Dude. Come on,
Facts.
man. And now we're going to sit here and say that, oh, man, we got this huge win. And gosh, like all the legal fees in the quote billable hours are not undefeated anymore. It was all worth it. No, it was not all worth it. Because ultimately, this idea of performance-based revenue sharing is not unique to the ACC. This is not unique to Florida State. This is not unique to Clemson. This is a college football talking point that is going to continue to manifest itself in these different conferences. It's going to continue to grow in stature and notoriety through the Power Four. There is a reason, guys, that the Big 12 is talking about it already and going to it, because you can't have, Arizona State or BYU or whoever the top dogs in that conference are going to be this year making the same as a bottom feeder school in that conference. That doesn't work in college football or anywhere else in life.
Yeah, I think it is very clear that everybody's going to claim victory here because that's what we do. And I think that it is going to be very difficult, whether you're in the Big 12, the Mountain West, the ACC, doesn't matter. This grant of rights is bulletproof. You're going to pay to get out or you're not getting out. And it's going to be hundreds of millions of dollars to get out. That's what it comes down to. And I would remind you, it may be fewer hundreds of millions of dollars, but at the end of all of this, if you want to leave the ACC conference, you're going to pay hundreds of millions of dollars to do it.
And my only question is, why are you trying to leave the ACC right now when everything that's going on is going on? Like, we have all these talks about the Super League heating up. We have all these talks about, we're going to talk all about today about the college football playoff and scheduling and all that. Like, you've got that whole piece of the conversation. Like, you have all these things that are going on in college football, and you're a school that's in a conference that's paying you reliable money that you can live on, and you want to mess that up. And I would also point out, on the heels of our private money conversation yesterday, might be a good idea for Florida State and the ACC to follow the Big 12 down the private money route in order to shut up Florida State. Because at some point there has to be, some sort of agreement between Florida State and Clemson and the ACC about what's going to make everyone happy. Because my biggest thing here is this settlement's going to come out today, and then 2 years down the line, Florida State's going to be complaining again and not going to be happy with the terms of the agreement.
Well, and I think it's very interesting that you're looking at it being a rolling average. And I'll just continue to beat this drum. You have to win. You have to do everything you can do to get to the college football playoff, or you're not going to get paid. That's what this comes down to. It's a 5-year rolling average on viewership, which means you have to consistently win so that people will watch your games on television so that you will make more money. And if you consistently win and you are relevant to the point where people are watching your games on television, what does that really mean? You're making more money and you're winning more games. That's what it comes down to. But people across college football don't want to do that. And why don't they want to do that? And we're going to talk about Greg Sankey here in about 15 minutes, because there's no emphasis to play big games and win big games.
Mm-hmm.
Your best bet is to schedule Mercer in November and get into the college football playoff. That's your best bet. And I think what this ACC lawsuit settlement does is it kind of nixes that idea. Because you need, in my opinion, and I know, again, you're probably tired of hearing me say this, but in my opinion, college football needs 12 big games for every major team. Every power team should play 12 power teams. That's what's going to drive more TV revenue. That's what's going to drive more sponsor dollars. That's what's going to bring more fans to the game. That's how you grow the game.
Facts.
But in a conference like the ACC, where 75% of this conference I don't think give a rat's ass about winning football games. I don't think they care. And now the ACC in a place where you're probably going to be the last power conference as far as bids to the tournament. So your basketball cash cow is going away now, shrinking. And a lot of that is North Carolina is not very good, right? They're having a terrible season. Trust me, as a Carolina fan, I realize this. They're having a terrible season. The whole league is off in basketball. You've got to incentivize, as this settlement does. You've got to incentivize every team in your league to do everything you can to win every single football game you play. That's how this game is won. That's how college football is won. That's how you make more money, which is what all of this is about. Play big games, grow your brand, win those big games, make more money, stay out of court, put the money in your pocket. I don't think it's rocket science, but apparently it's rocket science to people like Florida State who never, and I repeat, as I have said from day one of this lawsuit, never had a chance to win this lawsuit. They were never going to have a judge tell them that they were free from the grant of rights in the ACC. There was never evidence ever that the ACC and ESPN's broadcast contract was fraudulent or had malfeasance in it or there were lies. Ever. There was no evidence. We told you that from day one.
Never,
ever. Yet here we are giving lawyers hundreds of millions of dollars in this process back. How many years now? How long has Florida State been trying to get out of this grant of rights?
Billable hours are undefeated.
I mean, it's remarkable to me how much public money has been wasted on this. That's who won. The lawyers are who won.
Mm-hmm.
Florida State didn't win. Clemson didn't win. North Carolina's not leaving the league. And the ACC didn't win. The lawyers won. That's really what this comes down to.
Yeah. And I think the point about, Florida State never, initiated this suit with the intent of winning it in court.
It's ridiculous. Come on.
Like they initiated the suit to get change to happen in the conference. Okay. I mean, if that's how you want to do business, and this to me is the biggest point, the umbrella point over all of this, which is, hey, if Florida State and Clemson want to choose to do business that way, that's on them. That doesn't mean that the rest of the conference has to, play along or somehow engage in those type of tactics. But I think the real problem is now Florida State has put itself in a position with, I think, high risk of unintended consequences, as we always talk about. You've created a change that now makes it so that you're getting paid on a 5-year average. So let me get this right. The change that you paid all those billable hours for is that you got to win, and you got to win consistently. And furthermore, you got to have TV ratings while you win.
And I think very accurately, very justifiably, if you're the bottom team in the ACC, there's a chance you're going to make $20 million less per year than the top team in the ACC. If you go to a bowl game, if you go to the college football playoff, if you have a television audience, you're likely to get between $20 and $25 million a year per your own money. That's what the Big 12 is lacking. That, in my opinion, is exactly how college football should be handled.
Mm-hmm.
That's how revenue distribution in college football should be handled. That doesn't mean this is a win for Florida State. And it certainly doesn't mean it's a win for the ACC.
Yeah, I just
don't think it is.
I just think it's rich that Florida State Nation, Seminole Nation, wants to claim victory over this lawsuit. I thought that was so on brand for who we know them to be. We know them to be the yapping dog in the room. We know them to be the fan who's always talking and always wants to let you know about it. And ultimately, again, you can't have, another year like you had last year, Mike. Like, you can't allow your team to be that bad where Boston College is beating you. Like, come on, dude. Like,
And
what are we doing?
But I would also remind you on the exit fee part of this, we don't know what that structure is. We don't know. And I think everybody's latching on to what Ross Dellinger said yesterday, that it's presumed that the financial penalty will go down every year. We don't have a firm answer on what that is.
But you know what I thought when I saw that Ross tweet? And maybe I have this backwards. But as you work through a grant of rights contract, right? Like in any grant of rights situation, as the years go by, your exit fee continues to go down, right? Or no? Like if you have 1 year left, is it still $500 million to leave the ACC? Well, I wouldn't think so, right? Like ultimately, as you work through any contract, hell, it could be a car loan, right? It could be your mortgage. Like the cost to get out from under that, if you will, goes down. And so I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they come up with. It'll be interesting to see what that changes. I just don't think that this is some sweeping, victory and everything's amazing. Like, I think what it is the ACC conference is changing clearly. And I'm curious if, performance-based, revenue sharing, turns out in the end, years from now to be a conference-wide or like a sport-wide thing that turns into, hey, we started this in football. Now it's bleeding into basketball. Now it's going to bleed into softball and baseball and stick and ball. Like,
yeah, I don't know that you can do it with lower level sports. Yeah. I know that you can do it. Like everybody was pissed this week that game day was going to Duke and Carolina. Mm-hmm. And why would you be pissed about that? Where else would you have game day go this week? So, like, if I was looking at the schedule last night, because there was a significant conversation about, obviously Cooper Flagg's last game at Cameron, even though most of you jackwagons on this show still want to tell me that he's coming back next year. And so let me get this right. They celebrated Pooper and the Cooper last night at Cameron because he's coming back.
But Monty, UNC's going to the Big Ten.
That must be it. 28 points for Cooper Flagg last night, right? So I ask you, if we look at the college football slate this week or the college basketball slate this week, ask yourself, where are we really supposed to go other than Duke, Carolina? Because I don't see another solution. I don't even see another attractive game. Are we supposed to go to St. John Marquette? Are we supposed to go to Kentucky, Missouri, in Columbia? Oh, I know. We're supposed to go see the best player in the country in what could be his last regular season rivalry game with North Carolina. Why would ESPN go somewhere else?
Yeah, people criticize ESPN for being obsessed with that matchup and that, it's tired. But Cooper Flagg is the best player in college basketball, and you're always going to go and watch him.
South Carolina, Tennessee, Iowa State, Kansas State? No. Penn State at Wisconsin. Let's go to Wisconsin, Madison, to see Penn State in Wisconsin. Why would you do that? And the answer is, of course you wouldn't do that. You're going to go to Duke, Carolina, which is your big game of the weekend on ESPN. It's at 6:30 Eastern time on the 4-letter. And you're not like, it's wild to me that we don't understand. We're going to put the best player in a big marquee matchup on national television. And they should get paid more because Cooper Flagg's the best player and he plays at Duke.
Yeah.
He should get paid more for that. Duke should get paid more for that. And now they're going to get paid more for that. And I really would love to understand why that's such a hard concept to grasp. And I think it likely is because you hate Notre Dame because they're always on TV.
Right.
Notre Dame is playing a critical role in this settlement. I don't know how many people, and most people probably don't even recognize this. Do you guys understand that as part of this settlement, Notre Dame agreed to schedule Clemson and Florida State on a regular basis? Why does that matter? Well, because it's going to get them a bigger TV audience.
Which, again, is going to affect their 5-year rolling average.
Who's not watching Florida State, Notre Dame? Because I'm watching.
Notre Dame, our mother.
So it's all this stuff. I just feel like we hate the big brands because they get the Cooper Flags of the world. I again tell you, write letters, call your presidents, tell them to win games. Call Oak State and tell them not to cut Mike Gundy's salary. You should have fired him. Call Baylor and tell them to fire Dave Aranda. Instead of ignoring Texas Tech, we should be celebrating Texas Tech today. Because look at their basketball team, look at their football team.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this conference should be about. Celebrate Utah, who fired their basketball coach last week. The men's basketball coach got fired because it wasn't good enough. And now they're probably going to hire Alex Jensen. Celebrate that. Celebrate that you fired the offensive staff at Utah football. That's what this should, that's the message that this should be. Celebrate West Virginia because you went and got Rich Rodriguez.
Not because they have a great song.
And I love people like, oh, West Virginia's dropping out of Division I football. No, they're not.
Come on.
Like I had so many people trying to tell me, well, North Carolina's out of this league, Monty. Okay, so where are you? North Carolina's out of this league, Monty. Where are you guys when that settlement comes out today and North Carolina doesn't file their paperwork?
Well, Monty, it just didn't happen this time, but it's definitely going to happen,
I am amazed. I am amazed how many people want to, well, this is happening. Where are all the Florida State fans now? We're out of this conference. We're going to the SEC.
We're going to run that league.
No, you're not going to the SEC.
Okay.
You're not. Because if you were, it would have already happened.
Roll Tide!
And I'll say this same thing about the Mountain West and the Pac-12. Here's another lawsuit about a grant of rights and its exit fees not going before a judge, not getting a ruling in your favor. Here's another instance in this what feels like this growing momentum of let's sue to get out of paying what we owe, where you lost because you paid what you owed to the lawyer, and at the end of the day, did you really get a windfall of money? Did you really save a bunch of money? Did you improve you didn't. There's no precedent. There's not a single time in history where a university sued a league and won.
That's the bottom line.
It doesn't happen.
No.
It does not happen. It's not going to happen in the Mountain West and the Pac-12. That case, again, I think I have been very accurate on that story. That case is never going before a judge.
Facts.
And if it does, the Mountain West is going to win. We've seen it repeatedly.
It won't.
They're going to mediation because they both know. And this is, again, the whole, well, we won. You didn't win. You're going to mediation, and you're probably going to pay less exit fee, and you're probably going to pay less poaching fee. But did you really win? No, because you still lost money because you're paying lawyers. So you didn't win. You
Just a
didn't save
matter of
money.
how you want to cough it up, dude.
It's just a matter of who you're cutting the check to.
Yeah.
Because you're not saving money on the poaching fees because you paid the lawyer.
Yeah.
So let's say, anyway. And it's so frustrating to me. It is so disappointing to me.
And then, what's so rich about this is that, 5 years from now, this grant of rights situation in the ACC doesn't even exist. You understand that? That by the time this really all is going to have a huge impact on the conference, because it is a 5-year average, we're going to be in Super League land. We're going to be like, the college football is going to look completely different. Like it is. And that's the funny part. All of this crying and this fuss and this pain in the ass process is for what exactly? Like what did you think was going to happen, bro? Like I completely agree. You're going to pay the money one way or the other, whether you want to or not. It's going to happen if you're going to cause problems.
And if you're going to keep suing, it's just going to be how much are you going to pay the lawyers and how much are you going to pay the Mountain West or the ACC or the Big 12
and how much of a hit are you going to take to your reputation?
Yeah.
Because we're seeing that.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's get into the comment section on the Monty Show. Kialani L. I thought they were going to get out in 2024 with their media rights without paying any exit fees. That's what happened, right? I think it's
funny how the spin works. That's facts, bro.
D-Rock Irish, hello. Hearing the Irish AD Bavakwa wants more. Are you sure they want more, that they agreed to play more games with Clemson and Florida State? I hadn't heard
Monty.
that.
This is
what? Wait.
I know you've been mentioning that we're going to rewrap this wall. This is now the D-Rock Irish show. I mean, this information is so groundbreaking.
Hearing that Irish AD Bavakwa wants more games with Clemson, Florida State, Miami, and less with the other. Man, this is breaking news.
Dude.
Dangerous misinformation.
I literally said that 5 minutes ago. That Notre Dame agreed to play more games with Clemson and Florida State to help settle the lawsuit. Because as I told you, and I know I'm just a jackwagon.
SEC homer.
Notre Dame has significant influence in that conference, and they're not a football member. They have significant influence in that conference. And why do they have significant influence? Because if they're in the top 12, they're in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be the top 14.
And they play on national TV every week.
D-Rock Irish says Virginia Pilot is the source. Okay.
Well,
man. Welcome to the show, D-Rock. Exactly. Danny Kiger, I honestly came to your show solely because of one of the crazy FSU fanboys that was talking about how crazy your take on the Super League was. Well, I appreciate it.
Well, how did that work out for crazy FSU?
I know. We don't know anything that we're talking about. We're never right about anything. Ask Pac-12 fan.
Right. Yeah.
We never have, like, if one day I'll screenshot maybe all of my DMs on TikTok. It's hysterical how many people are like, Greg Sankey doesn't like here's the latest one. Greg Sankey doesn't control shit, fat ass. Like that's the latest one. Is Greg Sankey has no power.
Kiss my butt.
Okay. So are we going to 14 teams? Is strength of schedule? And how long have I been beating this drum for our long times? Is strength of schedule going to be arguably the most important metric to ranking in the college football playoff committee? Because now I don't think there's any doubt that Jack Wagon, athletic director at Michigan, who I think is one of the worst sports administrators in this country, I don't think there's any doubt that their ridiculous seating and him saying that we heavily factored strength of schedule in the rankings,
jackass.
I don't think there's any doubt that that's what precipitated the change that we are seeing.
Yeah, there's no way you can say you heavily, took into account strength of schedule.
I just listen on a I told you so Tuesday, and really it's becoming I told you so just Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like, and I deserve my flowers on this ACC story. You won't, but that's fine.
Google me.
Pimp's going pimp. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is, if strength of schedule is going to become a significant component, in where you rank, and if you get in or if you are out.
Well, and listen, I think that the problem is that it's just too unpredictable, or it has been up to this point, about like who gets in, who gets out, like what factors you can build into your schedule to help yourself. Like there's no, again, this is what we always talk about in college football season. There is no universal bar to work off of. There is no, hey, if you do X, you're going to get in. Like that doesn't happen.
And what did I tell you? What was it, a month ago when Bavacqua was talking about, the athletic director at Notre Dame was saying that, hey, we want to play more big games. Because one of the beatings that Notre Dame took was you played a team of people whose only job is to bake Girl Scout cookies in a factory in 100 degrees. Like you didn't play anybody.
Yeah.
You played your grandma's sewing circle. And I don't know remember Penn State was going to dominate Notre Dame and I don't know anything. Riley Leonard's an amazing quarterback. We get it. They didn't play anybody. Our schedule was remarkably weak. Well, those days are over. Do you think that Bavacqua was talking about wanting to play Florida State and Clemson publicly? That must have been 4 to 6 weeks ago now, I think that was. Like back around the new year, I want to say, or in January.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he says that stuff accidentally? No, he's talking about that because they're working behind the scenes to settle the lawsuit, as we told you they were.
Mm-hmm.
And they're clearly, Notre Dame is part of anything that happens in that league. They may still be behind Carolina and Duke. And I think Florida State, a lot of people have told me Florida State's lost influence in the league, but here nor there. I think behind Carolina and Duke, who run that league, the ACC lives and dies on Tobacco Road. I'll continue to say that. Notre Dame is one of the most influential voices in that room. And when they're out publicly saying, yeah, we want to play the big games in this conference, Florida State, we want to play Clemson, Miami. I think Miami now, and how long until Mario does what Mario does? But
inevitably,
as of right now, Miami's a premier brand again in college football. Whether you want to believe that or not, I think they're a premier brand. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Mike Smith. Good morning, Mike. If Notre Dame really wanted to save the ACC, they would join them in football as well. They wouldn't, though. They will not, because they do not care about saving the ACC, just like they did not care about saving the Big East. It's not Notre Dame's job to save conferences.
Yeah.
And I understand the hate that Notre Dame gets. I totally get it. But I'm going to continue to tell you, the bar at Notre Dame is very simple. We will join a conference only when we lose access to the college football playoff. Well, now they're contracted in. If we can't schedule, they can schedule anybody they want.
Well, and now it's more.
And they are.
It's more so now because people need them, right? Like, we've just sat here for, 40 minutes and talked about how the ACC is just, is going to, performance-based revenue distribution. And that's going to be on a 5-year rolling model. So you need ratings. How do you get ratings? You play big games with teams, including Notre Dame.
And I'll remind you, who does Notre Dame kick off the season with? At 7:30 Eastern on ABC. Well, that would be Hard Rock Stadium against the Miami Hurricanes.
Stay hard.
Catholics versus convicts. It's as old as my college football fandom, and I'm here for it. I want the T-shirt. Give me the helmets on the front of a white Hanes T-shirt, and I'm buying it. Then they have a bye week. Then they play Texas A&M, Purdue, Arkansas, Boise State, North Carolina, USC. Are they having trouble scheduling? Are they in 2026? Well, Monty, 2026, Wisconsin, Michigan State, Purdue, North Carolina, Navy, USC, Florida State, Miami, Syracuse, and SMU. Are they having trouble scheduling?
Nope.
But then in 2027, they only play Purdue, Michigan State, Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech, Clemson, Navy, and Wake Forest. They're scheduling just fine.
Yeah.
So let me get this right. They have access to the college football playoff. They have access to scheduling at a very high level, and they have their own TV deal. They're making close to probably, and they're a private institution. My guess is they're making upwards of $75 million a year. Minimum. So why would they ever consider joining a conference?
Yeah, they wouldn't.
There's no reason for them to walk away from NBC. And when they don't play on NBC, where do they play? Usually ABC and ESPN. Why would you change that?
Yeah, you wouldn't. And it's not
Right?
their responsibility to save the ACC.
And they're scheduling Clemson, Florida State, and Miami, and the Wake Forests of the world, the Virginia Techs of the world. So they're being good partners. They're just not going to join that league. But conundrum, Sankey will make Clemson and Florida State cancel games with Notre Dame when they join. Okay. The stadium guy, James, is this about an IPF or an upper deck?
Or Bucky's.
Or pedo priest books he's writing?
Well,
Monty nailed this story. He has every right to brag on this one. Thank you. Rock and rant. Notre Dame requested to play more games, which is different than saying they agreed. Okay. Their AD said it publicly about Clemson specifically weeks ago. They've been talking about it since January. You knew, and we've been telling you on the show, they're negotiating a settlement.
yeah.
We've been telling you that. There are no accidents, in my opinion. Scheduling alliance, go blue. Bro, will you at least admit that Ward Manuel is a pretty large
Brutal.
pile of terrible administrator?
Brutal.
That was a masterpiece of dog shit.
Seth Hatmaker. Danny Kiger, the batting average on this show is high. It is. We don't swing and miss. We're contact hitters.
What did
here.
Danny say?
I don't know. What did Danny say? Danny Kiger. About the FSU fanboy thing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So Ward Emmanuel is a man. Yes, he is. But it's Taco Tuesday, sponsored by Taco Bell, Mexican pizza.
I'm a man.
Bro.
Congrats on 140K. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're only 10K from 150 now.
What should we do for
For the math
150,000 subs?
Yeah,
man?
what should we do for
I feel like
150,000 subs?
150 is a good number to do something on. You know, like it's halfway to 200,000, like, you know. So I don't know what we'll do, but
What if we get to 150,000 and you just lay on this table and do your daily Kegel exercises?
I mean, if people want that.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah, next question.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah, please
You guys,
respect my privacy. Next question.
Hello, I just said Kegel exercises. Do I get no round of applause for that? I just said Kegel exercises.
Freaking God!
It's been a I told you so any day ending in Y. Exactly right.
Late has been, dude. We've been working hard.
Shouldn't it be strength of schedule or SOR both, not just one? I think it should be strength of schedule and strength of opponent.
Yeah.
It's
that simple.
I think it's that. I agree.
I mean, it's a defining factor between all teams. Who did you beat? And
Yes.
was that competition some of the best in college football or some of the worst? Or was it maybe mediocre? But
Yeah.
but it's the one thing that all teams in college football share. They have an opponent.
Do you remember when you said Mike Smith was super hot and sexy?
Funny, I don't remember you saying that. I mean, I don't remember you saying that, bro.
I think that was probably Locked On Big 12.
Macaque.
You and Drake, you know.
Stay hard.
Best comment you have ever said. Two Shakes' best comment was saying, "Love you, James." I agree with that.
Oh, dude.
I
Can I get a $600 million check for the quality of content we do on this show, bro? Please.
Conundrum. Calford is buying their way out of the ACC to join the Pac-12.
Right,
I believe he is.
I mean, that's the grand plan. You know,
I believe he is.
Yeah, that's the grand
right.
plan.
Kay Sunbury. Good morning, Kay. Morning, Monty and Jake. No, morning, Kay. Good to see you. Mike Smith never said it was Notre Dame's job to save the conference, but let's not act like they are trying to help by playing a few games with some teams. But I think their scheduling alliance, their scheduling agreement, puts ACC teams on their schedule pretty regularly.
yeah, they don't have to have a scheduling alliance with the ACC,
No.
but they do. Like,
They did, and I understand what you're saying. Let's not.
Yeah,
let's
I get it.
Let's not try to split the baby.
I mean,
here,
look,
right?
I don't think that they did the scheduling alliance to save the ACC. I think that the scheduling alliance just works nicely. It both geographically, for TV partners, it works well. Like there are many reasons to do it. Saving the ACC is probably not one of them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I just think that it'll be fun to see.
Yeah.
I agree. Notre Dame versus Carson Beck. Yes. Group of 5 needs to be made to play 2 power schools to make the playoffs if schedule matters. I really struggle with the Boise thing last year. The SMU thing. SMU getting in over BYU is ridiculous. I still say to this day, that's the travesty of the schedule last year.
Yeah, I actually think the G5 thing, I think, can actually be made pretty simple. I don't think that their strength of schedule should matter at all. I think it should just be, hey, highest ranked conference champion, one spot you get in. That's it. I don't want to do. We don't need to do scheduling, or strength of schedule at the G5 level. The reality is the Mountain West talent's not what the SEC has or the Big Ten. Like it's a very clear cut difference. And the funny thing is we're seeing that lack of talent damage Ashton Jinsey in the draft every day that goes by.
Yes.
So I just don't think that it's rocket science when it comes to the G5 and how they fit in here.
Totally agree. Just don't let Notre Dame play Marshall or NIU. Seriously, because we don't beat those teams. Those Sunbelt and MAC teams are their kryptonite, bro.
Dude.
Mountain Mama. I agree. D-Rock agrees too. You have fan Jim. We don't ever want to see MAC teams ever.
No.
Ever. Notre Dame isn't saving the ACC. They have always played the best opponents. They have. I would agree. Sergeant Moorhew, G6 schools absolutely should play a minimum of 2 P4 teams. We can't. The hard part for me is, like, again, SMU, and I know fans in Dallas. If you check SMU shirt, it says Dallas.
Yeah.
Dallas, SMU, congratulations. All hat, no cattle.
Yep.
It was that simple all year. Yet, they're Monty. It was the same. It was the same thing with Pedo State.
Monties.
The pedophiliacs in Happy Ending Valley.
Yeah, first team all shower Olympic team. That team. Come on now. Was Indiana? Indiana's taking Notre Dame down, fat ass. How'd that work out for you? I think Drew
Aller
on Google.
Oh my God, Drew Aller, best quarterback in the draft. Marty.
Hot ass.
How'd that work out for
Marty?
you? How'd that work out for you? And again, we sit here every day and we say, it when you see it, right? Will you guys at least agree? When you're looking at a college football team, you can be like, yep, that's a good football team.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame was never beating Ohio State last year.
Right.
No,
but that doesn't mean they're a bad team.
No.
They're a good team.
Riley Leonard sucks. Just ask his mom.
Right.
But my point was, Ohio State you looked at Ohio State last year. Ohio State was a goods, top to bottom. You knew it. I knew it. Everybody knew until the combine that Will Howard was going to win the national championship. Right? Dude can't hit. Hey, if you want to put somebody in a jockstrap running down the sideline, don't call Will Howard.
No.
Right? But you want to beat 4 of the best teams in the playoff, and you want to go to the national championship and win. Will Howard was your huckleberry. But I'm telling you now, you look at college football teams across the board. You know a good team when you see it.
Yeah.
Right? You know a good team when you see it. And I'm just telling you, this year, there had better be 20 teams that are legitimately pushing for 14 spots. Because this nonsense with SMU getting in, Clemson getting in, Boise getting in, BYU being left out. It's ridiculous that BYU was left out of that and SMU got in.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. And it's Big 12 bias and it's bias. Okay, great. BYU should have been in over SMU.
Yeah.
And strength of schedule has to matter. Okay, they're a lot of people freeloading with this great entertaining podcast with only 28 likes.
Let's go, dude.
Yeah, that would be great if you guys could hit the like button. We've had almost 700 views today and only 30 likes. Please hit the like button. That helps the channel grow. $150K. Monty and Jake gotta wear Hawaiian print shirts while wearing Speedos. Okay.
Smiles and glory holes.
You don't want that. You don't want that. Chewy, you should invite us to go golfing with you if you hit 150K.
Dude,
You're invited already.
Bro, we've said how many times on the show, bro, we're trying to go golfing with people and nobody ever reaches out.
And listen, again, the Advocates have a blood drive next Monday. We're going to be there. Yeah, and they only have 16 spots left. They only have 16 spots left. Yeah, my ice maker's broke, and my wife is telling me it.
Oh, God.
My wife is back at Casa de Monte telling me the ice maker on my refrigerator.
Time to call the home warranty company.
What do you guys want to bet the stupid home warranty company won't cover it? You guys, I'll bet you anything you want. Not rectal, but anything.
F around and find out.
Yeah. What do you want to bet that they're like, well, sorry, dude. I heard you guys farted around. Yeah. Speaking of which, never mind. Anyway, blood drive, utahblood.org. Get to utahblood.org, search March 10th, click on the Advocates, and schedule a time. There's only 16 slots left.
Yeah.
So you guys have done a great job filling that up. One person from today until the end of the week that sends Jake a DM on Twitter or Instagram, SLC Jake,
via social media,
on Twitter or Instagram, we'll give away a $25 gift card. All you have to do is sign up, and you have to go and donate blood. You can't just sign up.
Yeah.
You have to go and donate blood. So there you go. 150K, you have to do a hot tub live stream. I need to get in the hot tub more. 150K nuts. Okay.
Dude, we're not nutting on live stream for 150K, dude. I'm sorry. That's just not going to happen.
Wasikowski says give away Jazz tickets. They don't need our help. They have great fan base support for not good basketball. How about your Pistons? There you go. Let's see. Doug Salisbury Steak. If you make group of 5 play 2 power schools, you have to make your power schools play the good group of 5 teams. Many won't. They don't see the benefit.
But what's the point of being a power school then? What's the point?
I don't know.
What? Like,
I don't know. Conundrum. Like button or your team goes 3-9.
Yeah.
Like button or you have to be an Oak State fan. Wow, look at the like button numbers. No, I'm kidding.
Hot ass.
Danny Kiger. How do you get the names Two Shakes? I go by Danny Two Shakes because I was caught on video drinking 2 shakes at once during a Sonic drive in happy hour. Danny?
Dude. You got, quote, caught on video.
First of all, you're fat.
What is this? To catch a predator with milkshakes, dude? Like, come on.
Danny, why don't you have a seat?
So, Danny, what are you doing here today?
Danny, why did you bring condoms to Sonic?
Well, we weren't going to do anything, Chris. We were just hanging out.
Both these milkshakes are for me.
Yeah.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
Me? What? I haven't had Sonic does make good shakes. It's been 10 years, but they used to. I miss being, I don't miss. During a certain heavier period of my life, Dairy Queen was not out of the question.
Their blizzards are so good.
They are so good. Eric and Raleigh, hello. Testing 1 2 1 2 3. It's on.
Yeah, I don't know. What are you talking about?
Weren't you commenting from Twitter earlier? I think you were. Mike Smith. Nobody knows the complete story behind TJ Beck starting the Jakey Two Shakes thing, but it is believed it has origins in a speedy Mexican bar with a burro. I believe it does.
Yeah, something like that, dude.
I believe it does.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that is because like the Methodists and have Mormon hate. I said it. Well, that is because they like Methodists and hate the Mormons. I think.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that must be it.
I think you're probably right. All right.
Yeah.
A couple more. Then we have to get to our guy, Greg Sankey. Recent subscriber, Bexley says, hello, Bexley. Love your show. Where are you guys based? Salt Lake City, Utah. Mike Smith, they're out in Utah. We're broadcasting out here in Utah.
We're reaching out to you over here from Utah.
Caffeinated beverages for everybody.
So I said, yeah.
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 Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's not true. No, and Bexley, no, we're not Mormon. Nobody ever reaches out
bro,
for golf.
You're in Texas, bro. Like, what are we supposed to do?
Although I will say our friends at Upper Deck Golf, they had an event in Houston that we did not go to, and we probably should have. Are they going to Dallas? Are they doing Arlington?
I'd have to look. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Upper Deck Golf. We're going to Wrigley Field. We're going to play golf at Wrigley Field in the second weekend of March, and I cannot wait. Baxley, no thank you. The awkward guy. How about a Utah Yeti jersey giveaway?
Yeah, good luck. That ain't happening on this show.
You're still so red.
I'm not willing to do it.
You just will never support that hockey team.
I won't do it. And it's not about the players. I'm not saying anybody is bad there. What I'm saying is I'm not going to support that initiative that is now, and again, not to go off the rails, but notice what's happened, just like we told you. We're not the only ones criticizing the taxpayer situation now. Just want to point that out.
Do not give money to billionaires to build new stadiums
that do exactly nothing for the community.
And if you're going to put it on the ballot.
Yeah.
That's all I ask. Dev MC, I hit the like button and my team still went 3-9. Bummer.
So anyway, to the golf point, bro, Kim, you're in Texas. Like I like if we're in Texas,
Kim, where are you?
Up.
Where are you? What we need to do a Texas remote broadcast. We do. We need to go to Jones AT&T.
I think Kim is in Lubbock, right? Isn't Kim a Texas Tech dude?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I like. We need to do a Jones AT&T. We need to do a DKR. I'm never going to Waco. Not as long as Dave Aranda is there.
Why do you hate Mr. Klein?
I would love to go to Stillwater, but the mullet is still there. I want maybe every year we go into a live broadcast at a university where they give a damn about winning.
I want it.
Live in Provo. Prove me wrong. Wow. Okay, somebody says, wow, what? Really, Monty? The random Oak State shot? It wasn't, I didn't take a shot. It was a deflection, a ricochet, if you will.
Selectively aggressive.
You know, that's very true. They're not giving Ryan Smith any money. They already are paying him with their taxes. Wow.
It's such a joke, dude.
It very
is
true.
Such a joke.
Sergeant Green, speaking of upper decks, who else needs an upper deck? No, who's that? Who's that, Sergeant Green? Ryan Dooley, hello. Every city that builds a stadium for a billionaire ends up with more problems and more debt. It never works out, ever.
Yep.
And hockey specifically.
Yep.
It is always a losing proposition in hockey. You guys weren't the last to criticize the Utah Hockey Club with the taxpayer money being used, but you guys were the first. Thank you. Thank you. I'm at Anthem Country Club in Phoenix.
Oh.
Okay, well now...
So wait, you're in Phoenix? I thought you were a Texas guy.
Yeah, I thought you were.
Or are you just saying that you're visiting Phoenix?
Mm-mm.
This seems to say that you're in Anthem.
Now you say that, Kim. I remember. I think he lives in Phoenix. He lives in the Valley.
Well, if you live in Phoenix, that's different, bro.
Yeah, we can play golf, bro. I hit a 330-yard drive this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You should watch yourself.
On video.
You should watch yourself, sir. We'll see if the irons get. I have another golf lesson tonight, which usually is bad.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to Greg Sankey, because I found it very interesting that Greg Sankey went on the mouth of the South, Paul Feinbaum.
The mouth of the South.
That's
bro.
Paul Feinbaum.
That's why we have Feinbaum.
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
Mouth of the South. Greg Sankey went on the Paul Feinbaum show yesterday, and I thought laid it out as well as you could. You got to play a better strength of schedule. And I think strength of schedule matters. I absolutely think it matters. And what Greg says here, I think is spot on.
I have said repeatedly, the top fill-in-the-blank teams are my personal view and priority. I am asked within our own league, are there other opportunities for allocations? I haven't used the word automatic bid. And that's not actually what we have right now. We have conference champion access for the 4 most highly rated conference champion. My advocacy was no concessions and no assurances in that process, but to have the opportunity to expand the playoff, that wasn't going to take place. I think what's right is for me to express our ideas to colleagues in a room and talk about the background of those ideas. So Paul, have our athletics directors joined in conversation about more allocations, whether you want to call that automatic bid. Sure. They've also talked about ideas of evaluating strength of schedule and trying to better understand how that analysis is made. How can we better understand how the CFP selection committee makes its decisions? That's really not a specific judgment. It does need to inform our decision making. So I'm rightly accountable for my words. And what I said after that meeting was, I think we have to go into a CFP meeting with our colleagues and explain our issues, just like we have to learn from their issues, their concerns, their perspectives. Now, we had athletics directors that expressed opinions, and I respect their right to do so. And those became very much the focus. I think we should probably slow down a little bit at jumping to conclusions, because there's a lot of work to do in a short period of time, whether it be our scheduling decisions or discussions about the future college football playoff. I will say this, and I'll say it again. I think what we learned after conference membership movement and looking at a system that was designed in 2019, 20, and 21, that the rankings versus seedings, the ability to be in the top 4, to be in the next 4 and host, and then the ability to be in the top 12 and have the chance to play in the college football playoff, those look a little bit different. And that's why I was direct in saying I think we really need to look at adjusting that ranking versus seeding approach that was introduced with this first year.
What has he said there that's wrong?
Nothing.
Greg Sankey on the Paul Feinbaum show. I think that's exactly right. And I think whether it is, there's nothing wrong with our athletic directors and constituents talking. There's not. And I think you are listening to a guy who says nothing by accident. And I think when you look at what Greg Sankey said on the Feinbaum show, strength of schedule has to matter. And when Greg Sankey, who I think is the most powerful figure in college football, is talking about strength of schedule, and he's talking about seeding versus ranking, I 100% agree. I thought the ranking meant absolutely nothing, and you seeded these teams on what? Ward Manuel is a clown. Mm-hmm. I think he lacks leadership. I think it was an embarrassment last year what happened in the college football playoff. And I'm 100% on board with Greg Sankey saying we got to change the way we do this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the college football playoff, the biggest problem it has is there's not a clear-cut reason for why they're doing what they're doing. There's not like, hey, well, they've had this strength of schedule, and so, we had them add to this team or whatever it might be. It's very subjective. And I understand that that's part of the human experience, right? That's part of having a committee that sits around a table and talks about teams' stories, as I say. Like, every team has a story. Every team has sort of a journey they go on throughout the season. And when you get into those final couple of weeks before, the college football playoff is set, the bracket is set, those stories typically and those narratives are what the committee goes off of. And I really do think that's a college football playoff's biggest problem, is that these committee members go off of media narrative. And it's not to say that the media is lying about what's going on, but I think if all you do is look at Twitter and you want to look at just what insiders are saying about things, that's not the full picture. And the committee can sit here and say, till they're blue in the face that they consider strength of schedule and that they, take all the factors into account. But there's no way anyone's going to believe that you actually did that when you put together the bracket you did, specifically the lower end of the bracket. And that's what is difficult. So when I listen to Greg Sankey talk there in that clip, the two things that stand out to me are one, hey, it's fine if ADs want to talk and share their opinions, and we need to listen to those opinions and those feelings and those experiences. Those are valuable in the decision-making process. But what we can't have is their feelings being the priority over what we're trying to do here. And we have to kind of find that balance. So I don't think Greg Sankey said anything wrong. I don't think that he's sidestepped at all or misstepped at all. I think what he's doing is he's playing this PR game perfectly and putting the SEC once again in the driver's seat to control the fate of the college football playoff. And I understand why that upsets people. I get that. I understand it's frustrating.
But again, I'm going to tell you, Tennessee and Nebraska canceling that game with Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And Greg Sankey said on Feinbaum yesterday that Nebraska was told straight up by committee members, you don't need to play Tennessee to get in. So you took Tennessee off your schedule. and you paid to do so. It's the wrong way to go about the college football playoff.
Yeah.
You're incentivizing teams to buy their way out of tougher games, to schedule cupcakes to get into the college football playoff.
Because strength of schedule doesn't matter.
And I think it's this circle that we've been talking about on this show for a month. Strength of schedule doesn't matter, so we're losing big games. We're losing rivalry games. We are losing television audience. We are losing fan interest and enthusiasm. And it all goes back to, why do we have human beings making decisions that impact who gets in and who is out?
Because we didn't like computers making that decision.
Why would we ever allow a computer to make a decision? It should be based on what you did on the field.
Because remember, the narrative around the BCS was, hey, the computer formula that determined the BCS rankings could not take into account a team's story and the intangibles, right? It was all numbers based.
Injuries,
stuff like that, right? So now we have the committee and people are upset. This goes, once again, oddly enough, goes back to the Florida State situation where they don't get in 2 years ago because Jordan Travis had an injury, right? Their quarterback wasn't going to play. And everybody lost their mind. But that's the very reason that you went to a committee of human beings. But now the problem is, once again, as usual in our world, the human beings are not making, designed decisions, meaning they don't have a rubric to work off of. They don't have a formula.
They don't have a leader at the head of that committee.
There's not anybody pushing the proper stuff. And so that's why I say, like, the issue isn't going to 14 teams. Like, expansion in the college football playoff is not the issue. The issue is the quality of the bracket you put together after the conference champions are slotted. That's your problem. Because again, and you've died on this hill, and I've agreed with you that Penn State getting the free pass that they got only to lose is insane. You can't have that. That made the college football playoff feel very watered down.
We were all worse for it.
Yeah.
And so I go back to this everybody who's not an SEC fan bitching that they only play 8 conference games. Tell me why the SEC should play 9 games. Tell me why. Why should the SEC play 9 conference games? Because you want them to? No.
Because it's fair.
When Indiana is beating the also-rans of the Big Ten, we're supposed to make the SEC play 9 games. There's got to be, in my opinion, a Super League where it's an NFL playoff model. Did you win games or did you lose games? Did you win enough games or did you win more games than everybody else? Okay, you're in. You only won 8 games and 9 is what you need to get in. You're out.
Simple as that.
Right? And we can sit here and we can debate how easy the Kansas City Chiefs schedule was, and it was. But at the end of it, what happened? They got beat by a better team.
Yep.
Right?
And what are we seeing this offseason? And I think we would see this in college football. Hey, I'm Travis Kelce. I was fat. I'm going to lose weight. He said that. He said, I need to get in the best shape of my life so I can play a couple more seasons.
He essentially said, I lost my edge. And I am at the end of my rope with this discussion on strength of schedule. Stop it. Make everybody play P4 universities.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should have 2 non-conference games, and you should be rewarded for playing ranked non-conference teams.
Yes.
Nebraska should be penalized for canceling those Tennessee games. It is what's wrong with college football.
Mm-hmm.
So the last thing I'll say about this before we get into the comments section, Greg Sankey's not the devil. Greg Sankey is saying what should be said. He's saying the quiet part out loud. You're cowards for canceling that Tennessee game.
Yeah, I mean, isn't Greg Sankey advocating for exactly what you guys want?
Yes.
Right? Like, aren't you guys saying, hey, like, because this stands out to me. Hey, the SEC should play 9 games to level the playing field. That's always been the argument. Hey, the SEC only plays 8 conference games. That's not good enough. And then the other couple are cupcakes or whatever. That's not good enough. Greg Sankey is now saying, hey, strength of schedule has to matter more because our 8 games are better than the 10 or whatever that the Big Ten is playing, right? Or whatever it is on any given year. And so Greg Sankey is advocating for exactly what you guys want, which is a quote unquote level playing field when it comes to how schools build schedules. So again, it all comes back to this same universal point, which is in college football, there is no unilateral one-size-fits-all bar for what gets you in and what gets you out. And the reason there's not is because there's too many schools trying to get 14 or what will be 14 slots. And in the NFL, like you mentioned, there is 32 teams, right? And there is a clear, controllable system.
Do we have lawsuits being filed because the Chicago Bears didn't make the NFL playoffs?
No, you don't.
Why?
You don't.
Because they suck. And they didn't win enough games. That's probably me being
And
bitter.
I would also point out,
you know,
there's a crap ton more money in the NFL inside of these organizations. So if they suck and they want to suck and they don't want to invest, that's on them. That's not on the system.
Georgia is arguably the best team in the SEC, right?
Yeah.
Here's their schedule for 2025. Marshall, Austin P at Tennessee bye week. Bama, Kentucky at Auburn, Ole Miss bye week. Florida, Mississippi State, Texas, Charlotte at Georgia Tech.
That is a very SEC schedule.
And you explain to me again why they should play 9 games. Why should they add another conference game? They have the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers in 2026. Why, if you are Georgia, why would you change that? Why would you change that?
I don't think you would.
And if you are, look at Ohio State, right? Let's talk about Ohio State, their 2025 schedule for the Ohio State. Sorry, I forgot to pause. Texas, Grambling, Ohio, bye week. Washington, Minnesota, Illinois, Wisconsin, bye week. Penn State, Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers, and Michigan. Tougher schedule, in my opinion. Now, having said that, Purdue, UCLA, and Rutgers should be a walk in the park. Minnesota should be a walk in the park.
You think that's a tougher schedule than Georgia's?
I think it's close, but I think with the non-con games, Grambling State and Ohio State, or Ohio, Grambling State and Ohio for Ohio State are easy games.
Right.
I have a lot of love for the fact that they open up against Texas.
Yeah. Well, and clearly the way they built this schedule is, hey, we're going to play Texas 2 gimmies bye week.
And but we can argue over the depth of the Big Ten, which I don't think is a real thing. There's no depth in the Big Ten, not until SC and UCLA. And I think Jed Fish is doing good things at Washington.
Oregon proves they're not a fraud.
Then we could talk about having depth in the conference, right? But when we start getting into Oregon football, okay, let's look at Oregon. Let's look at Oregon's football schedule.
13-0 only to get boat raced by Ohio State.
All right, Oregon in 2025, Montana, Oklahoma State, Northwestern, Oregon State, Penn State bye week, Indiana, Rutgers, Wisconsin bye week, Iowa, Minnesota, USC, and Washington.
That's an undefeated schedule.
Should be.
Like, honestly.
Should be undefeated, because who's not on that schedule? Anybody at the top of the Big Ten is not on that schedule. And if we go to, but at least I have love that Montana is the only cupcake.
So wait, did I hear you correctly? Michigan's not on there either. Is that
right? They do not play Michigan or Ohio State.
So you don't play Ohio State or Michigan, and we're supposed to sit here and say that the SEC and the top teams in the SEC should play 9 conference games against, when you compare that schedule, the SEC schedule, to what allegedly is a top Big Ten team. Come on, man. Come on.
2026, we get a better Oregon schedule. Boise State, at Oak State, Portland, at Illinois, Michigan State, Michigan, Nebraska, Northwestern, UCLA, Washington, Ohio State, and USC.
Now, that's a good schedule.
That's a good schedule.
That's a good one.
But again, is that schedule good for the Big Ten? All things remain equal. That's not a good schedule for the Big Ten.
No.
So we can go round and round. My whole point is all of this goes away if we go to a super league.
Yes.
Let me get this right. A super league means you make more money. We get bigger games in college football. So we get bigger TV audiences, which leads to even more money. And we never have to argue about who's in and who's out.
Yeah, and Sankey doesn't have to keep doing these media hits with the, what did you say, the mouth of the South, justifying the SEC's position.
Yeah, yeah. All of it goes away with a super league. That's the end of it. D-Rock Irish, supposedly Nebraska said it was due to stadium renovations.
No, that's not what they said. That's not what they said.
Well, that's not what Sankey is saying they said. But that has been floated out there for sure. You know, the Hawaiian golfer, don't be a red ass today. Northwestern and Vanderbilt are not equals. I would agree. Right now, Vanderbilt's a better program. You know, but Jay McClanahan, get rid of playing lower level schools. Why do we continue to play Ohio State Akron? Makes zero money sense.
Yeah.
Zero.
Oh, no, hold on. For Akron, it makes
a lot.
Sense.
It's a payday.
Yeah, for Akron, it makes perfect sense. They're getting paid to play that game. There's no doubt.
Yeah, those money games are huge for the Appy States. Huge. Mike Smith. West Virginia has made an effort to play 2 out-of-conference games with P4 teams and only 1 lower level. I love where West Virginia's at right now, by the way. I was talking to somebody about, they're all in. They're spending. Do you guys understand how much money they're spending to play football right now?
Yeah.
They're spending a considerable amount of money.
Dude, if you're West Virginia, do you not, you see that the Big 12 is gettable?
Yeah, you better clean more coal because you need to make money. It is, bro. Yeah. And the Big 12 is absolutely gettable.
Yeah, the Big 12 is gettable right now.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
The 1 year SEC did not get most of what it wanted. The bitching and moaning came out. Just saying. You're not wrong.
But again, for the SEC, that's not surprising, right? The 1 year, think about the point. You're making our point right here. You're saying that it's not surprising the SEC's bitching. I'm saying they damn well better be bitching about it.
Yeah.
Because the 1 year, they didn't go out and have 11 wins at Alabama. They didn't get into the college football playoff, even though their strength of schedule was clearly better than several teams that got in.
And you look at, this is what happens when you put idiots like Ward Manuel in charge of something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
you get bad results.
You don't get what is fair and equitable. You bring in all kinds of bias into it. And what did you think was going to happen with Penn State when you put Ward Manuel on top of that thing? Penn State was going to get the easiest route, and then they got humiliated. And I was proud,
which was awesome to watch.
I enjoyed every moment of it.
Yeah.
Danny Kiger, as a Nebraska fan, I'm upset about it. Rule and Dannon have their separate and different reasons for it. They do. And I don't even disagree with it from Nebraska's side. If I am Nebraska and I look at their schedule,
yeah,
and we start looking at their future games. Here's Nebraska's schedule for this year. Cincinnati, Akron, HCU Huskies.
Bro, who? I'm sorry.
Who the fuck is that guy?
The HCU,
who?
They're going to be ready to play because then they go play Northern Colorado, who are the Bears, after they play Nebraska. They
okay. Thank you.
Man. All right, let's move on. Michigan State, Maryland, Minnesota, Northwestern, USC, UCLA, Penn State, Iowa. That's Nebraska's 2025 schedule.
That's a good schedule.
Decent.
Yeah.
I mean, HCU's a hell of a laydown. Here is the 2026 schedule. Ohio, the Bobcats. Bowling Green, the Falcons. North Dakota Fighting Hawks. Just coming out of the gate with big names. Then on September 27th, at Illinois, at Iowa, at Michigan State, Indiana, Maryland, Ohio State, Washington, Rutgers, at Oregon, at Rutgers.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that's not a good
Decent schedule, not great.
Not good at all. 2027. NIU, Miami, Northern Iowa. They're the Panthers. Iowa, Minnesota, Oregon, Purdue, Rutgers, Northwestern, Ohio State, Washington, Wisconsin. So let me get this right. You have not mentioned a quality non-conference opponent in 3 years now.
Yeah.
Why are we rewarding the Big Ten for playing Iowa, Minnesota, Purdue, Rutgers, Northwestern on the same schedule? Now, of course, Iowa's decent, but they're going to be at the stadium for Ohio State that year, at Washington and at Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows how good Wisconsin will be? Not only, in my opinion, does Nebraska need the Tennessee game, they should be punished for canceling it.
Yeah.
We should look very critically at them. TJ Beck, Sankey's right. We have to drop bias and jealousy of his behemoth league. He's speaking the truth. I think, I don't know if you're being serious or not. I think we do. At some point, you have to reward. I would, under no circumstance, go to 9 conference games if I were the SEC.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't. Mike Smith, NFL revenue sharing and cap makes a difference versus college football. Oh,
100%,
absolutely.
dude.
100%.
100%.
Yes. UW fan James. I agree 100% with Monty. We need the Super League to stop all the bias. We may disagree on who the bias favors, but the Super League fixes it either way.
Yeah,
and
it just takes out the X factor of human beings.
And it doesn't mean that Roma Dunze runs a good route or catches the ball.
No, I mean,
it just means it takes the bias out and makes it. TJ Beck. We have to keep in mind when the big boys pay a lower level game, the lower level teams do that because they need the money.
Yes.
1AA, and believe me, they need the check. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. That's exactly right. Mike Kalani says, Kahilani. The teams are spread out in every region, large part of the country not represented in the Big Ten and the SEC right now. I would agree with that. Always found it funny that Dallas is in the NFC East. At one time, the Cards were as well. Truth. UW fan Jamal. I hate the Ducks, but they are no frauds. Tennessee and Georgia, maybe not the Ducks. Well, the Ducks turned into frauds.
Yeah, I think Dan Lanning's got a lot of proving to do. I think Dan Lanning.
It's a big year for him.
Yeah, I think Dan Lanning proved that you can beat up on the Big Ten schedule, and then you got your ass kicked by in the college football playoff.
I think it is a big year for him, and I think it'll be interesting to see how all that plays out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how you fix that or when you fix that. But my opinion is that you're going to have to find a way to do that very quickly. Danny Kiger, Rule says it's because they don't need Tennessee to get in the playoffs. And Dannon is saying reduced seating for the stadium renovation needs to be offset by an added home game. Oh, that must be it. That must be it. They don't need them to get in the playoffs. You see what I
mean? The stadium narrative is just BS, dude. I'm sorry. I just don't buy it. I think you're lying to cover up the fact that you were told directly by the College Football Playoff Committee, allegedly, that it's pretty clear.
Just looking at their schedule, though, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, it's not like their future schedule is just stocked. It's South Dakota State and UTEP. You're not doing this because of stadium renovations. You're playing UTEP in South Dakota State, and you're in a soft conference that is not deep. Like 2029 we don't have a Nebraska schedule to 2029.
Yeah.
But every year up to 2029, they play multiple soft-ass games. And I'm not saying you're wrong for doing that.
Yeah, but let's not beat around the bush about why.
Washington used to get a good deal of the market in Texas and Mexico areas. They do not want to let Dallas join.
Not sure what that means.
He means the Washington Commanders, who used to be the Washington Football Club.
Oh.
Keelani, as an academic institution, West Virginia right now is going through issues that a lot of other schools will be going through in 5 to 10 years. Enrollment decline is coming, which really hurts athletics. Because go back to why you originally started playing college sports. Why did the NCAA come into existence? To boost enrollment. I don't know how many people realize that. That's exactly what.
But the NCAA isn't made up of all the schools. I mean,
no,
don't
forget that.
Don't control the NCAA at all. No,
not at all. But West Virginia's also got severe economic conditions. I think a lot of people, and I don't know, Keelani, if you know that situation or not, but West Virginia has so many disadvantaged citizens right now and so many disadvantaged people. It's remarkable the challenges that go into West Virginia. You know, I'm just, saying, and Mike Smith is qualified to know that. Colorado lowered standards and Prime being there has greatly increased enrollment. It has. Why are we rewarding Alabama for playing Mercer? Well, why doesn't the Big Ten schedule? Bro, you're not. Are we really saying we're rewarding Alabama for playing Mercer?
No, we're rewarding Alabama for playing a significantly more difficult schedule than the Big Ten plays. Like
I think it is.
I just don't feel like this is you trying to argue because you're a Big Ten homer. That's what that is.
Florida State, ULM Warhawks. Here's Alabama's schedule. At Florida State, August 30th.
It's already a better schedule than most Big Ten teams have.
ULM Warhawks. Wisconsin, bye week. At Georgia, Vanderbilt, Missouri, Tennessee, South Carolina, bye week. LSU, Oklahoma, Eastern Illinois on Saturday, November 22nd at Auburn.
What are you talking about rewarding Alabama, dude?
So let's go to 2026. Their 2026 football schedule. This is what we know of Alabama. At West Virginia, USF, Florida State. I wonder why they haven't released a 2026 football schedule. Huh. Because they're going to have to play more. I'm telling you, it is coming. 2027, who does Alabama have on their schedule? Anybody that has anybody ever heard of Ohio State at the stadium?
Like, come on, dude.
Has anybody ever heard of West Virginia?
Yeah. There are some of these comments, like, I get it, dude. You're a Big Ten homer. It's fine.
I'm telling you, I would not.
You're a homer is the first part.
Yes, sir. I'm being very serious about Sankey. Okay, good. One of the problems with these bigger conferences is there will be years where teams do not play the best teams. Of course. That's exactly right. But it can't be every year that your big brands get a free pass. Like you look at in the Big Ten, Michigan and Ohio State don't play night games at home. Why is that? Especially later in the season. Why is that? Well, the conditions are not conducive to playing good football. You're more ripe for an upset, which is why you don't send USC to the Palouse to die in October.
Unless you're the Pac-12.
Right? The Big Ten has a built-in system to get multiple teams into the college football playoff. The SEC does not. And I think that's what Greg Sankey's talking about. Until there is a clear benefit to scheduling up, there's no reason to do it. None whatsoever. Totally agree. There was no pain in the U playing the Y when it was all risk and no reward. Yeah, I agree. Florida Gators schedule is a crusher. Again, Big Ten schedule's a joke, but they are protecting the brand and increasing chances for a CFP run. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Well, Florida, Big Blue Horses, do you believe in Billy? Do you think, because I think this is a huge question. Is Florida in good hands with Billy Napier? We're going to find out because I don't know how many people have scoped the Florida football schedule. It pretty much is roofing nails through your balls. Here is their 2025 football schedule. LIU, the Sharks. USF at LSU at Miami bye week. Texas at Texas A&M, Mississippi State bye week. Georgia at Kentucky at Ole Miss, Tennessee, Florida State. That's their football schedule. That is a
Way
ball-breaking schedule. And if you take, who do you take off that schedule? If you take LIU off that schedule, is that a good decision for Florida?
No. No.
If you add any Power 5 team into that slot, no. Now, is Mississippi State a bye week? Probably. You should beat Mississippi State. But I got news for you. USF, that's not a walkover. LSU at Miami, at LSU, home for Texas, at Texas A&M. Do you understand what that 4-week stretch is? At LSU, at Miami, bye week, Texas, at Texas A&M. And that is September and October. Your season could be written by the time you get to October 25th.
100%.
And if it's not, then you got to go Georgia, at Kentucky, at Ole Miss, Tennessee, Florida State to end the season. That's a football schedule. And if you win 9 or 10 of those games, you're going to the college football playoff. Did I mention then they got to play in the SEC championship game? Did I mention that part? Come on. That's a football schedule. New rule, all P4 schools must play one each of other P4 schools for a non-conference game. Well, I think that's what the SEC would like, but the Big Ten's never going to go for that. Never going to go for that. Mike Smith. Stadium narrative is silly when most schedule agreements are home and home where they alternate. Totally agree. Nebraska might think they are big boys, but change Tennessee for UNI. Well, that's what I'm saying. No, Ferris Khan. There you go. Blue Turf. Can you please tell me what the Super League is going to be? It sounds like more of just the same. No, I don't think it sounds like. Do you really think it sounds like it's the same?
Yeah, I don't think it sounds anything like what we have now.
Nothing like what we have now. Do you, Blue Turf? It's the NFL. I think it's 70 teams, and I think you win or you lose. And that's what's going to determine if you're in or out. Not your injured quarterback. Well, yeah, you remember the year that who picked the quarterback is out for the year. Remember the year that he got hurt?
Jordan Travis.
Well, no, in the NFL. Aaron Rodgers got hurt and the Jets tanked. Well, nobody said, but yeah, you got to put him in the playoff. They only lost games because Aaron Rodgers got hurt. Nobody is saying that. Well, they went undefeated. Okay, well, if the Jets go undefeated without Aaron Rodgers, they're getting in the NFL playoffs.
Yep.
That's what it settles.
It's results based.
It is you won or you lost. It is that simple. And that's exactly how it should be. Isaac Drost. Oregon's history when it comes to playing the big boys of college football has not been good at all when it truly mattered. There's a lot of that going around. I think you're right about that. Brandon Butler. I like soccer.
Yeah.
Enrollment in college is already in decline and has been. We are seeing it. And if the DOE, Department of Education, run by the WWE now, goes away, it would be disastrous for athletics. Hard to have athletics with no college.
Yep.
We'll see. Conundrum. Big Ten and SEC scheduling agreement coming soon. Has to. Ed Enriquez. Mountain Mama. Bailey Dietrich. It's not Ohio State. Excuse me. It's the Blue Turf. You can't have NFL model unless you have a complete package. Okay, so what part of the package is missing?
Yeah, the package.
Package.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, no duh.
I don't know. Jeff Sudbeck. Nebraska is smart. Why play an away game at Tennessee in the TGE new playoff format? You are guaranteed playoffs if you win your conference or ranked at a certain level. I'm not arguing with you. But now what Greg Sankey is arguing is make it so strength of schedule is one of the, if not the most important component of decision-making. Strength of schedule, strength of opponent, strength of remaining schedule has to matter.
Yep.
Has to matter. Delaric. Florida must have the hardest schedule in the nation. One of. No, not only not no, but hell no. And Strickland, the AD, has got to go as well. He's talking about Billy Napier. It's what happens when you don't have a strong university president. I would agree with that. Daniel Dixon. As an Iowa State fan, both teams should not be playing FCS teams. Totally agree. Oh, look, Jeremy Bolton. When does Bishop Sycamore make the college football playoff? Last year.
That's a great question, dude.
Jeremy, good to see you. When are we going to play golf? When was the last time an SEC school played in a college football playoff final? Been a few years. Strength of schedule is great and all, but they don't appear to be the best team in the nation at the end of the year when it matters. Well, you look at the last 2 years, but this is the argument. Do you have the best conference because your conference won the national championship?
No.
No, you don't. You don't.
You have one team.
That's what that means. Because was Indiana good? Was Penn State good? No. Did Oregon get their ass swooped? Yes.
Yeah, like Indiana was never in danger of winning a national championship.
Never. Never, ever.
Yeah.
Never, ever.
Yeah. Like
where they weren't.
Never.
They weren't. That's exactly right. I'm just telling you they weren't. And I'm just telling you every 3 seconds in this country, somebody is in need of a blood transfusion. And I ask you to join us at the Advocate's office in Midvale next Monday. The blood drive on March 10th from 10 to 2 at the Murray Advocate's office. They have 16 more spots available. Jake and I will be there. UtahBlood.org. Search by date. Go to UtahBlood.org. Search by date. Why don't you make your appointment?
Okay.
Search by date. Select March 10th and choose the Advocates Blood Drive. We will be there and we will hand one of our viewers a $25 Amazon gift card. And maybe we should do more. Do we do 100? Maybe we do a $100 Amazon gift card. Donating blood is that important. I think it is. We are a critical mass every day in this country on blood donations. If you're not in Utah and you can't get there, go to your local blood bank and make a donation. And if you want to make a donation and you want to show us that you made a blood donation, I'm happy to give away a $25 gift card for somebody that's not in the state of Utah as well. Happy to do it. But come and see us. We'll be at the Advocate's office in Midvale on Monday, donating blood, UtahBlood.org. You have to donate blood to win the $100 Amazon gift card. What are you doing over there?
Trying to figure out where you can book it on their website here.
You just go to UtahBlood.org and search by date, March 10th, and click on the Advocates Drive to schedule. Okay. That's what you do. Figure it out. If you have any questions, DM me. Louis Capazzo,
Hey,
Monty.
Louis.
I'm sorry I can't be there for the blood drive. I'll be having a camera ran up my arse that day.
Damn.
You're getting a colonoscopy. Good for you. Good for you. Oh, look, Frank Biddle, once again.
Biddle.
You two have no idea what you're talking about.
Well,
okay.
So here we go. Enlighten us, please.
Frank, the floor is yours.
You've shown up today, dude.
The floor is yours. I simply ask you, when you say we have no idea what we're talking about, go ahead and detail that. Go ahead and tell me, because once again, we don't know what we're talking about. Please come out of the shadows and tell us exactly what we're wrong about. Would love that. Happy to do it. Frank the Tank. There you go. Conundrum. You have the best conferences because 3 of the top 5 in the final rankings were from the Big Ten. Right. But when you look at, does anybody who saw Oregon play in the college football playoff believe that was one of the 10 best teams in the country?
No.
Or let's go 12 best. Was that one of the 12 best teams in the country? Probably. Are they better than Boise State? Are they better than SMU? Were they better than Clemson? Yeah. Were they better than Penn State? I have no idea. I don't know. I haven't the slightest idea if they were or not. But I don't believe that Penn State's one of the 12 best teams in the country. At no point last season, and we talked about this, we've argued about it on the show, Penn State was not one of the 12 best teams in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana at no point in time was ever one of the 12 best teams in the country. They weren't, in my opinion. You know. Anyway, welcome to the Nightmare. Almost went the whole show before someone brought violence. But again, you bring violence, but you're not accountable to it.
Yeah.
Because you just say, you guys are dumb. Okay, tell me how I'm dumb. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay, tell me I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Frank, please let me know when they don't have a clue on what they are talking about. Thank you for holding us accountable.
Yes.
You know. I'm just
still waiting, Frank.
When you play another top 5 team, that tends to happen, Monty. Ohio State was better than Oregon by far. But Oregon, and I'm happy to play the game.
Oregon got shellacked, dude. Come on.
I think when you Schlab Report Live, I think when you look at Oregon's football schedule, okay, if we look at Oregon's schedule and we say, okay, how many really solid teams did they play? Idaho, Boise State, at Oregon State, bye week. The bye week is the best team they faced in the first 4 weeks. UCLA, Michigan State, Ohio State, good win. At home, absolutely good win. Purdue, Illinois, at Michigan, Maryland, at Wisconsin, bye week, Washington.
Mm-hmm.
One team they played. One team. And I understand that people are going to argue about it and say, Wisconsin, not Wisconsin, not Washington. They do you understand they beat Washington? They put 49 on Washington and put 45 on Penn State, and then went against Ohio State and gave up 41 and scored 21. That's 20-point loss. So explain to me again. This is the argument that I make about Penn State. Okay, let's have the discussion about Penn State in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you count off the quality wins. West Virginia, Bowling Green, bye week. Again, bye week's the best team they saw because West Virginia was not good last year. Kent State, Illinois, UCLA, USC, bye week. Wisconsin, Ohio State, who beat them, and that was in Pettoville at Happy Ending Valley. Right?
Well, I remember Will Howard running for that first down.
So there's one, and they lost it. Washington, Purdue, Minnesota, Maryland. Big Ten championship against Oregon. Okay, they got beat the hell out of by Oregon. So now the two best teams, because remember, you're telling me Oregon's amazing. So the two best teams they played, Ohio State and Oregon, they lost both those games. SMU, Boise State, Notre Dame. And they lost to Notre Dame. So the only 3 good teams they faced, they lost to all of them. Was Penn State really one of the 12 best teams in the country? No, they were not. And we can go round and round about it. But yeah, I think it's really difficult. It's really difficult to make that choice. But hey, it is what it is. Blue Turf. So how many of these bad teams that are presently in these big conferences are going to be in the Super League? Everyone that wants to bump up $500 million.
Yep.
Because I truly think when you form a Super League and you take let's call it 70, how many Power 4 schools will opt out? I think there will be a handful.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you invite 70 teams, my guess is you'll get 5 Power 4 teams that'll be like, nah, we're not playing at that level. We're losing money on athletics. So I think you're going to have 70 teams. I think you're going to get the majority of most of the Power 4 in there.
Yeah.
I think there will be some shocking opt-outs. I think there are going to be some shocking opt-outs. Now they extended the revenue sharing opt-in window. What is it, July 5th, June or July 15th or whatever.
Yeah.
I think you'll get some shocking opt-outs in there too, for sure. That is what Greg Sankey says anyway. It is. Big Papa War Machine. Talking about scheduling BS. Tech doesn't play Baylor or TCU. No butt bowl. What horseshite.
Butt bowl.
Well, you want to look at Texas Tech? Is that what you're telling me? You would like to see Texas Tech's schedule? Okay. Chaboy is here for it. I think if Texas Tech does not go to the college football playoff, what am I going to say?
Joey should be fired.
Is that too harsh? With this roster, and their schedule is at Utah, September 20th. Hold on a second. Hold on. Dadgummit. Let's see. So many pop-up ads. Here's Texas Tech's schedule in full for 2025. It is UAPB. That's Arkansas Pine Bluff. They're the Golden Lions, everybody.
Nice.
Kent State, Oregon State, at Utah, bye week. So you're playing 3 cupcake games because you're going to be significantly better than Oregon State. At Houston, Kansas, at Arizona State, Oklahoma State, at K-State, BYU, UCF, bye week at West Virginia. Not a great schedule, but you're playing multiple ranked teams to start the season. I think Utah is going to be significantly better. And I think your most difficult games outside of Utah are at Jones, right? So Oregon State, Kansas. I think your toughest road game is probably Arizona State, but let's see how bad did Scadaboo look at the combine? Did you guys see his numbers?
Oh, I didn't think. People are saying he looked bad.
Oh, his numbers. His testing numbers were horrendous. His broad jump, his vertical, Anyway, Arizona State's probably the most difficult game, but you get Oklahoma State. Again, I think that's probably a 3 or 4 win team. K-State's a tough game. BYU is at Jones AT&T. UCF is at Jones AT&T. And then you got to go to Morgantown. You got to go to Mountaineer Field to end the season. So Boise was decent. I don't disagree with that. Washington was not the same Washington from previous years. They lost so much to the draft and coaching as well. Totally agree. Obviously, DeBoer went to Bama. Conundrum, Ducks versus Huskies, if an annual. I love the regional rivalry.
Yeah.
Frankie Biddle.
Oh.
Okay. Hundreds of millions of dollars on lawyers. So you don't think that the ACC versus Florida State, and you're telling me you think that Florida State, the combined number for legal fees, Florida State, Clemson, ACC, all the motions filed to look at you don't think that was $100 million, but in that lawsuit, you really think that over the life of this Florida State's litigation, dude, the state spent millions of dollars on their own.
Yeah, I mean, how long has this been going on? Like a year and a half?
How long has Florida State been trying to get out of the grant of rights? How long have ACC teams been trying to get out of the grant of rights?
Yeah.
You don't think that? You're crazy if you think so we don't know what we're talking about because we think that they spent hundreds of millions of dollars, the league and its members in the state of Florida. So we don't. Okay.
Well, we're stupid.
We're stupid.
Yeah, we're idiots.
Uninformed. SEC is a much better brand than the Big Ten. I can barely watch a handful of games. That's tough. Yeah. Until the argument during the season isn't subjective, then this will be an issue. Hindsight's always 20/20. Strength of schedule really doesn't show itself until after the season.
Totally agree, bro.
Grad Slacker. What's up, Grad Slacker? Wyoming to the Super League. Book it. Nobody wants to go to Laramie and play football games. How many people go there and just can't breathe for the first
Texas Tech,
and then 0 blitz in overtime because you're dumb? Delaric, who do you think are the most likely opt-outs in the Super League? That's impossible.
Yeah, that's a really tough question to answer, and it's probably not one we should be speculating on.
Yeah, I think that's an impossible question to answer.
Yeah,
because we just don't know what.
You want to talk about subjective?
I'd have to know how much it costs. I'd have to know how much private equity each university is going to get a share of. Now do Texas's 2024 schedule. I don't know either. Do you think so? You're saying by that measure, you believe that Texas, you don't think deserve to be there, is what you're saying? Because remember, we shouldn't even get into this. I'm just
that Texas is back.
No, this is going to turn into an argument about, well, Monty, you said Michigan sucks. Well,
Monty.
Well, what I'm telling you is that when I look at Texas's schedule for 2025, and if you want to go back to 2024, I mean, we can do that. But I'm happy to fight the fight because I'm a believer in Sark in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
In 2024, they played Colorado State at Michigan, UTSA, ULM, Mississippi State, bye week, who again was the best team in September. Oklahoma, Georgia, Vanderbilt, bye week. Florida, Arkansas, Kentucky, Texas A&M, Georgia. So you played Georgia twice, and you lost to them twice. Clemson, Arizona State, and then your season ended against Ohio State.
Right.
So I'm assuming what you're saying is you feel like their 2024 schedule was light. I don't know. They played Georgia twice. You played Vanderbilt to a very tight game. Vanderbilt was good last year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just don't know.
In the Oklahoma game, obviously.
The Oklahoma game, yes. I don't think their schedule was light last year. I don't understand why we're incentivizing teams to play difficult schedules right now. But you look at Texas's schedule this year at Ohio State, San Jose State, UTEP, Sam Houston, bye week. At Florida, Oklahoma, at Kentucky, at Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, bye week. At Georgia, Arkansas, at Texas A&M. Or Texas A&M's at DKR, excuse me. So as you hit the like button here on the Marty program, I will just continue to tell you I think we can go back and forth about it, right? Yeah. I hate the rumors of teams being dropped, nobody left out of the Super League. I think teams will opt out. Because I don't know how many. Arizona is one that comes to mind just because of their financial situation. But if they're getting $250 million in a lump sum of private money to offset the cost of forming a Super League, because a lot of people think that's what's going to happen, I don't know how you wouldn't say yes to that. You know, Aranda got his team playing better in the last part of the season. Will it continue next season? This is a really good one. Let's talk about Baylor. Because as Oak State James has tried to espouse.
Well, honey, Baylor had a really nice turnaround last year.
They ended the season.
8 wins, really solid. The quarterback play was okay, but just, Dave really got his guys going and playing hard, especially after the, water cooler Gatorade incident. So, really good season.
So if we look at 2024 Baylor football, and they ran off, 6 straight wins to end the season. They started, as you remember, 2-4.
Right.
Their wins were Tarleton and Air Force. Their losses were Utah, Colorado, BYU, Iowa State. So they lost to everybody at the top of the conference. Their wins were, here are their wins to end the season. At Texas Tech, Oak State, TCU, West Virginia, Houston, and Kansas. So you lost to the best teams in the Big 12, and you beat the worst teams in the Big 12. And I would remind you, for instance, at West Virginia, you gave up 35 points.
Mm-hmm.
TCU, you gave up 34 points. You gave up 28 to Oak State.
How?
And I would remind you, Ollie Gordon was running in concrete at the combine. And you gave up 35 at Texas Tech. Your offense was never going to be the issue. But then how do you go to Houston and win 20-10? And then you go to a bowl game against a real team like LSU and you get your ass kicked.
Yep.
So I think it's a great question, Mike Smith. I think that's a great question. It'll be really interesting to see how that plays out. I think that is a really interesting. Let's see how they do. JC, I guess Jake's Oak State impression is spot on considering their off-show relationship.
Yeah, I have exclusive behind the scenes experience, so I can just two shakes for the win.
Yeah, and I who is the rebound team in the Big 12?
Texas Tech.
Utah was terrible. Oak State was worse than terrible. One of those two has to be the rebound team. Has to be. Texas Tech can't be a rebound team. Texas Tech, I think there's enough pressure in Lubbock that Joey has to win the league.
But wouldn't you say if Texas Tech somehow pulls out 10 wins, let's say, it's just an overachieving year.
Yep.
10 wins, CFP berth, does everything you want them to do. Nationally, they will definitely be characterized as a bounce back, sort of Cinderella-y kind of team, if you will.
When's the first loss for Texas Tech? Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Kent State, Oregon State, at Utah, at Houston, Kansas, at Arizona State, Oak State, at K-State, BYU, UCF, at West Virginia.
Is that at BYU?
That's at Jones AT&T. I think your first loss is potentially going to be that Utah game. I think your second loss, I only see one loss on the schedule. You're going to lose at K-State or Utah. I honestly, I think those are the only two losses I see on their schedule, because I think they're going to be significantly better than Willie needs another year at Houston. Kansas isn't better. Arizona State has a lot of proving to do, because without Scadaboo in the battering ram, they don't win half the games they won.
Well, we're going to find out who Kenny is. No question about it.
I would agree.
We're going to find out what you done in the portal, and just let's see what year 2 is like.
Oklahoma State didn't make significant changes and are not better. Kansas State, I would expect to be. K-State to be significantly better.
Yeah.
I would think Avery Johnson would be a better quarterback this year, because there's some rumblings he's really putting in effort and time. BYU, that's going to be a tough game, but it's at home, so you got to give Texas Tech the nod, right? UCF, that game's at Jones AT&T. I'm giving the nod to every home game this year. I'm leaning Texas Tech. And then that trip to West Virginia, that's never an easy place to go. Anyone who beats Utah will have stolen the victory.
It's on the officials,
Could be. Absolutely could be. K-State will be better than Utah. Well, tell me you don't know the Big 12 without telling me you don't know the Big 12. Zona Tucson. I hope Tech beats ASU. Are you really? I had no idea. But we'll see. I'm betting on Utah. Can't imagine 3 seasons of injury issues. The D is always good, and a mid-offense last year, they could have been at the top. I think.
Yeah, the D's always good, dude.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Conundrum. Colorado much worse. We'll find out, right? I don't know that we know if they'll be much worse. Like the show. Well, thanks, Cam. Yeah, everybody hit the like button. That helps the channel grow. We are at well over 1,000 views and only 64 likes. Please hit the like button. Who do you think will be the surprise team out of each P4? I think Michigan has a chance to be the surprise team out of the Big Ten. Michigan or USC, because USC very quietly had some good wins this offseason. So I think Michigan or USC in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
In the SEC, I don't know that there's a surprise team in the SEC, because I think Texas.
Who's Arch going to be?
Texas is going to be very good again. Their defense just looks. And Arch, I think a full offseason with Arch and a playbook he already knows. I don't know that you can have a surprise, because you see everybody coming in the SEC.
Yeah.
I mean, in the ACC, I've got to think Florida State rebounds in a massive way. I
just can't believe somebody said, yeah, DJU is our guy, and that's going to work out. And then it flamed, it just flamed as bad as it did. And so now it's like, all right, well, I'm going to say about Florida State what I said about Kenny. Mike Norvell's got to prove it now. Mike Norvell, had a couple of good years, and last year was just painful, bro. Week after week after week, just getting laughed at. How many times? There was at one point last year, if you guys remember, there was a thing going around social media, a compilation of how many times Mike Norvell said something like, it's on me, we didn't get these guys ready to go, like every single week, dude.
I think Castellanos is a stud, and we're going to have to see. They need to be better defensively. That was the shocking thing. Not even DJU sucking out loud. Florida State just got that ass beat every single time.
And over and over again.
Like, that was a surprising thing. Look out for the Huskies. I think that I'm a big Jed Fish believer, but I got to see it.
Yeah.
I got to see it. Bama should improve with Grimes. Well, I also think, Mike, don't you think that just not having a better passing quarterback? I mean, I think we're watching Jalen Milroe get exposed like,
yes,
my God.
Yes.
I mean, he just could not throw the ball. As crazy as that is. I mean, I don't know. I think in the ACC, I think Miami or Florida State will win the league. I'm terrified to say that out loud.
It's a lot of risk in it. I don't trust Billy Napier yet. He's going to have to show me that Florida can bounce back.
Billy Napier. I don't trust Mario Cristobal, and I want to, because remember, he went home. When's that ever worked out?
Yeah.
But Luke Nichols, a freshman, so you don't have anybody behind Carson Beck.
I just think with Miami, they had one year. You had one great year where it worked out. Everything's awesome. You were, right there in the CFP conversation the whole year. For Billy,
that defense is going to be fast.
I don't know, man. For Billy, I've never seen that fire that dude, it's Florida. We're talking about the Florida Gators here.
Right, but that's not who he is, and I think that's part of the problem for Florida fans. Is I don't think that it's not even that Florida's not talented, but I feel like Lagway should be a better quarterback already.
Yeah, he should be.
I don't know. I don't know what you did. I think Billy's going to have a tough year. It's going to be a very difficult.
Now there's expectations.
Their schedule is just, it's impossible. I think the Dogs will take a big step forward, but not sure we will be ready to topple the big boys yet. I think that's what this year has to be, Jim. I think Jed Fish is not a stand around and hope guy.
Yeah.
And I think he's made some very salient decisions. So that Jalen Milroe you used to pimp out, Marty. Well, in college, he's a dominant player.
Yeah.
But
in the NFL, his hands are too small, even though they allegedly grew somehow. And, he can't throw a football. Like, I don't know how else to get around that. Like,
that was one of the worst performances I've seen. Like, I haven't seen a performance that bad in a long time.
I mean, at least with Will Howard, you can say, yeah, he probably just had a bad day. Probably just had a bad day. That's the guy that
he was squeezing out some diamonds. He was maybe nervous, but can you be nervous at come on. Matt Rule is a loser. No, he's not. I think Nebraska is going to take a step forward. Let's go Terps. There you go. Lamont Tucker, Napier will be fired by week 5. You might be right. Jeremy Bolton, the mayor of Montytown. Utah Tech has a solid schedule this year. I bet they give Wyoming Tech a run for their money. I think they do. I cannot wait to be right about Utah Tech.
Well, Utah Tech's golf program is really booming right now, The NIL they got going through that thing is crazy.
We'll find out.
Can you imagine being a golfer at Utah Tech and getting to play all those courses in St. George, dude?
Jesus.
Come on.
Do you guys watch where Utah, and really BYU as well, do you see where they travel?
Everywhere.
Golf is unbelievable in college right now. BYU golf plays some of the nicest courses in the world.
Yeah.
Didn't Utah golf go on a winter European?
Yeah, they were in Spain, I believe it was. Yeah.
I missed the boat on golf. I really did. But I did get an exciting email yesterday. My PXG mini driver is on the way. I am really excited about that. Really, really excited about that. All right, where did this show go? The Monty Show is always presented by The Advocates at theadvocates.com. Don't forget the blood drive with The Advocates is next Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Show up in Midvale, Utah. We'll hand you a $100 Amazon gift card. One lucky viewer. Get to utahblood.org. They only have 16 spots available. And did you booked your spot, right?
I was not able to book yet. Still was working through that. They on the website, they want you to call, I think, to do it.
Because you have to confirm your availability at some point.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I am telling you that we need to We need to get that done.
Yeah.
We need to donate blood. And we need to go to utahblood.org, search by date. March 10th is the date that we are looking for, right? Because that's the date that we will be in Midvale. So you can go on the Utah, and I'm looking at it right now. You can go on there and you can search by date. So choose my date. We'll go with March 10th. Custom. And look at that. It comes right up. Where is it? 7th, 8th, 9th. On the 10th, the Advocates right there. It comes right up when you search by date. And, they are not, we are filling up fast.
How many do they have left?
We only have 8 left right now, and make that 7. I'm going to commit to what time you want to do it. What time do we want to commit to being there?
What do they have?
They have 10, 10:30, 11, 11:30, 12, 12:30, and 1. And
12:30.
They're out.
12:30.
12:30.
Yeah, 12:30.
Okay, let's do 12:30. Jake and I will be there at 12:30.
Yeah.
And I think that we are going to we're gonna have a great time. The Advocates are good folks. They're good people to do business with. Are you gonna pass out? Can you commit to me that you're not gonna faint like a little punk ass?
Dude. See, what you always seem to forget is that the only reason I passed out.
Here comes the excuse.
Yeah, is because I'm a Big Ten fan and we play a soft ass schedule. No, the only reason I passed out,
bro, you almost fell out of the bus.
Yeah, I did. No, not almost. I was stumbling down the bus lane.
We're on this donor bus, right? And Jake is sitting across from me. We're both on the end, right next to the door. And he gives blood, and you can just see like the testosterone and the life just leaking into this bag of blood.
Yeah.
And he fell forward.
Yeah.
And almost rolled right down the school bus stairs. Like,
yeah, I do what I can, you know.
I did what we did.
We did what we did.
So yeah, we'll be there. All my Salt Lake guys, come on out. Let's get it done. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a good time. I can't wait. Joey B, give blood, play golf with Monty and Jake. We could do that.
Yeah.
If you want to do that, I'm happy to do it. I believe that much in the importance of blood donations. I think it is just so critically important that we donate blood, because every 3 seconds in this country, somebody needs a blood transfusion.
Yeah.
It is that serious. So get to utahblood.org. We'll be there Monday, March 10th at 12:30 at the Advocates in Midvale. You have to make an appointment, or you can just show up and say hello. I mean, that's not the end of the world. utahblog.org, search by date March 10th. Join Jake and I, the Advocates Midvale, next Monday. Hook and load ladder. Says ...
Man, that's just scintillating content, dude. Thank you for that great comment.
Getting hungry. Somebody make me a sandwich.
Yeah.
Okay. Brave browser equals no pop-up ads. YouTube Premium. We don't have control over ad insertion on this show. We don't. Yes, YouTube Premium equals no ads. Major letdown. Good grief. I wish Florida State would actually get out. Yeah, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. You know, he still gave. That is the important part. Exactly right. If Jake was a girl, he would pass out once a month, guaranteed. So that what?
Okay, see, we're not making female jokes, bro.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy. Can't do it. Can't do it.
I'm just saying. All right, real quick before we bail today. Where do we go here? I've been trying to talk about Live Golf for a month, and we just haven't gotten to it. So let's rip Chipotle. I mean, let's talk about Chipotle. Okay.
You don't always have to be negative.
Yeah, apparently I do. In the comments section, do you guys support Chipotle? Do you like Chipotle? I love Chipotle.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
I love the food. I am tired of them inserting a knuckle every time I want to go there.
Inserting a knuckle.
And when I say insertion, I mean, and look at that. I just got an email from Cafe Rio. For Taco Tuesday.
That's funny.
Here's the issue that I have, and I'm not even trying to be a red ass about this. It's getting so expensive to eat fast food. And now you guys may have seen the tariffs went into effect. So it's only going to get more expensive for eggs and chicken. I'm getting tired of spending $30 to go and have Chipotle.
Yeah.
And now there's this story that Chipotle is making them way out. Chipotle is making their stores way out ingredients to make sure they're not over portioning.
Yeah.
It's not that you're over portioning. We get almost nothing already. So if what I'm getting at Chipotle is over portioning, I'm not going back.
Yeah.
Right? There are videos online, and Jake had a hysterectomy when he was telling me about this.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying, oh, dude, these videos, it was a burrito bowl, and you essentially could not see what was in the bowl. It was that light.
Yeah, and they were weighing it. And so it just is, it's this whole deal where I just feel like, I love Chipotle as an option, man, but they're making it harder and harder to do business with them. And I
would agree with that.
I have to say, in following your footsteps down the chicken nugget route, if you get
chicken nugget routes,
chicken chunks or chicken nugs at the store, you pop 5 or 6 of those in the air fryer for 10 minutes. You get a little rice bowl or a little rice packet that you can microwave, chop up the chicken, cook the rice, throw a little pico and guac on it.
So I get it. You're saying it's a cost of convenience.
Yeah, it is. It is. You're paying, you're paying for convenience. And to me, it's like, yeah, man, if we're doing $30 for a bowl, I'm not doing that anymore,
not doing
dude.
it.
It's not worth it.
I see all the comments. Yeah, I do love Chipotle. I do. Chipotle's good, but getting expensive.
Dude, I love Chipotle. Like, I'm not changing my stance on the food itself. The issue is not the food.
And the tariffs, this is what I'm worried about with these Mexican tariffs going into the vegetables, it's going to be exponentially more expensive.
Yeah.
It is. Never ate a Chipotle, heard mixed reviews. The food is fantastic.
Yeah, the food is awesome. And specifically if you go in prime time. Don't go to Chipotle on off hour. Don't go at 11.
Go when they first open.
Don't go at 10 at night.
Don't do it.
Go during the lunch hour, during the dinner hour.
Yeah, I agree. Live in Arizona. Why would I ever go to Chipotle? There's tons of great Mexican food in Arizona.
Because you don't always have time to sit down, man. There's
here
a convenience factor.
Here in the Caucasian state of Utah, there is not a lot of good Mexican food. Cheaper to make it at home, by far. It's cheaper to make it at home. Buy Chipotle stock. You can afford their burritos and guac.
Apparently.
Qdoba. Why would you say that on this show? You know how much I miss Qdoba. Cheaper and just as good. Dude, Qdoba is goated. It is. Ooh.
They're saying,
where's the guac, dude?
Hold on. Yeah, I don't know. They're always shorting the guac. They're saying Kyrie's only got a sprain on that knee, dude. Come on, bro.
Did you guys see Kyrie Irving, everybody's favorite flat earther, trip and fall over a corner of the flat earth last night, driving down the lane? He hyperextended his ACL has to be torn. Could not walk on it. Not like they're saying it. If he only has a left knee sprain, that means it's a bone bruise. And a sprain basically is your muscles stretch so much that they have little tears in them. There's a little hole in there. That would be shocking if that ACL was intact.
Yeah.
Brutal. Chipotle is freaking terrible. I love it. You give me a burrito, brown rice, black beans, chicken or brisket, but they don't have brisket all the time, so I'm going chicken.
Right.
Queso. Yes, I know it's queso. K-S-O.
At Monty, it's queso, not queso. Can you please, do you know that?
I snickered all day about that. I really did. So give me brown rice, black beans, chicken, queso, and well-drained pico. Wrap that thing up, dude. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. They got to weigh it because of those tariffs. Imagine now tomatoes, avocados, beans, even tortillas. Avocados and tomatoes. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, dude. Like, honestly, it's going to be tough.
Qdoba is better. Don't disagree. Beto's is too expensive now, too. And I really got the B crew at Beto's the other week.
Yeah.
That was not great. But I agree. Rocher, Beto's is
not
amazing.
Ideal.
TJ Beck, the restaurant that eyeballs the portions and errs on the side of excess, that's my go-to.
Yep.
Yeah, Delaric, always had better and cheaper options than Chipotle where I'm at. I wish I did. Giggity, go to Chipotle in Arizona when you need your colon cleansed.
Well.
Red Iguana is 30 times better than Chipotle.
Yeah, but that's not a fair comparison.
It's downtown, and I can never get a reservation.
But even if it wasn't downtown, that's not a fair comparison. Red Iguana is a sit-down restaurant.
It is.
Chipotle is a fast food casual
it's
place.
Fast casual, sir.
Come on now.
I don't disagree with that. We have a good Mexican restaurant at my little town, ran by Mexicans. It used to be farm workers. Pretty much the whole Mexican-American population in my county works or owns that joint. Good. Small business.
That's what you want. That's where the great places are.
Charles Oliva, who's the queso guy. It was funny. Sir Bob loves Kyrie almost fell off the planet. Well, he was at the edge. He tripped and fell. Go to mom and pop places for much. Whoa. Go to mom and pop places more for less, and there is always Buc-ee's.
Yep.
Ooh. Chipotle está mucho delicioso. See what I did there? Not gonna go to it today. I don't. Joey B, when Monty orders queso at Chipotle, I'm the guy who does it too. I don't give a rat's ass. I'll be like, hey man,
queso?
Can I get a quesadilla with some queso on it, please?
Buddy, the burrito maker's not here for your nonsense.
Can I get some pico de gallo, please?
Yeah. I love that at Chipotle they call it mild salsa.
It's pico de
gallo.
Gallo.
It's freaking pico, dude.
Stop. Jeremy Bolton, there is a taco truck off the Woods Cross exit. Has the best Mexican food I've ever had. I love trucks.
Nice, dude.
Best fast food burger in and out. Stop.
Why do this, TJ?
Why,
See,
TJ?
we almost made it a day without,
damn it.
doing this whole thing. Oh, well, Monty,
I'm a
burger
pilot.
is the best.
I'm
man.
a pilot. I can say stupid shit like In-N-Out's the best fast food burger. No, you can't.
Monty, I put the autopilot on, and then I had a burger, and then I took a dump on the plane, and then we started our initial descent. It was fine.
Five Guys. Next. What are we going to do in Chicago?
I don't know. We're
going to be in Chicago for a week. The first week of April, we're not going to be doing shows, but we're going to be creating a ton of content. We are going to Chicago for Cubs opening day. And then we are staying the week because the next weekend is Upper Deck Golf at Wrigley Field, where you get to play golf at Wrigley. I did that this summer at Rice Eccles, and it was amazing. Did you do it?
No.
Oh, me and Mrs. Monty did, and it was exquisite. It was so much fun. So much fun. And we're going to play a lot of golf in Chicago. We're going to bring the clubs. It's going to be amazing. Brats, when you go to Chicago, Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago.
There's no question we're going to have brats while we're in Chicago.
That's a Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
There's no question. Like,
yeah,
Super Dog, at some point a brat, probably a slice of pizza.
Gibson Steakhouse.
Pico
de Gallo cleared for takeoff. Exactly.
Yeah, dude.
TJ Beck, LMAO, sorry, shows violence. Five Guys is money. You're damn right.
Yeah. Way to fall in line.
Don't you guys love that? We'll just fight to the death over what's the best fast food burger. Like, that's what's great about this show. And I wish people didn't take things so seriously.
Well, Monty, you're dumb. You're stupid.
You guys don't know what you're talking
about. Football, Monty.
I know. Do they sell burgers at Chipotle? No.
They probably should, though.
Delaric, I know you don't ban people, but that's almost a bannable offense. Saying In-N-Out's the best burger, it is.
Yeah, seriously. Idiots. Buffoons.
Mike Smith, I read that one already. Yes. Midweek Coug, make sure it comes off a roller. It's not happening. It is not happening. Best fast food burger, real quick, go. I'm going to have to say Del Taco Double Del. I swear to God, I will hit you in the face with this microphone. Don't say it. And if you say it, I won't believe you're serious. I won't. You know what's going to happen if you say that. Yeah, I'm not talking about that. Don't say it.
Anita Dick and me.
Don't say it.
Best fast food burger. Yeah, I mean, Five Guys got top spot for sure. No doubt. Trashy fast food, I'm probably going Jack. Probably. Then the Double Del.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think. Is Ditka's still open? It is not. Unfortunately.
We don't have Portillo's here.
No,
Portillo's hot dogs, and it's pretty good. Their fries, little cheese sauce.
I want to go to Portillo's in Vernon Hills, Illinois. We might need to do like a tour of the old stomping grounds.
Yeah.
What kind of car did we rent?
Audi SQ5.
We got an SQ5 in Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago.
Damn. You guys want to? I'm staying at a place called Level, which is a hotel and
not Omni. The Omni Hotel.
I don't get it.
Yeah, you do.
I do.
Yeah, you do.
We're staying at a place called Level in Chicago. And they're making me do like an identity verification thing.
Really?
Yes.
Is this like a super nice hotel? Then?
It is. It is very nice. It is long-term residences mixed with hotel suites.
Interesting.
So.
Okay.
And it's not like I'm staying at the nicest level in Chicago. Right? Like I wanted to stay, like River North is a really nice area. There's a Level hotel in River North. And it's just too expensive. Yeah. I can't do it. But, I could either buy a food truck or eat at Five Guys. Eat at Five Guys.
Yeah, come on.
No, go to the food truck. No Five Guys, In or Out, or Jack in the Box joints in my general area.
Dude, you are suffering.
Wow. Five Guys peanut oil fries. Sick. They're really good.
So good.
They're really, really good.
Yeah.
I love it. I also love Prize Picks, America's favorite daily fantasy provider. Join the tens of millions that play Prize Picks every day. I abstained. This is my level of degeneracy when it comes to daily fantasy. Daily fantasy is so much fun and it's affordable. I was looking at playing TGL yesterday on daily, and I was like, nah, dude.
Nah.
Don't do it. Tonight, though, there's a ton of NBA. Steph Curry, 5.5 dimes. I think you got to go more.
Mm-hmm.
More on Steph with 5.5 dimes. I love that one a lot. I like that one quite a bit.
Dude, Josh Giddey's over 15 points. 17.5 point number for, good old Josh Giddey. Come on.
It might. They took Steph Curry's assist away. What happened there? That might be a mistake because we all know Josh Giddey never likes anything.
Got to be under 15,
Karl Anthony Towns at 38.5. I don't like the way he's playing now. I would probably go less there. The one that's really interesting is Mikal Bridges, 21.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I think you got to say no. I think you got to say less than that.
Right.
Going up against Golden State. Giannis ante your mama. You want to hear a huge number? 51.5 points, rebounds, and assists for Giannis tonight. I think you got to go less. They're begging you to take less on that, aren't they?
They are. I mean, you look at his last 5 games. Against Dallas, he had 47. Against Denver, he had 54.
Atlanta, though?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know that he's going to need to play long enough to get to that number. Like against Denver, he had to be really good, and that's why he crossed that number. But if you did Goblin, dude, his demon number is 64?
Yeah.
What?
No
way.
Not doing it. Lakers got New Orleans tonight. Luka's 44.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I might be doing a trifecta of unders.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't done. He put 46 on Dallas and 49 on Denver.
Minnesota's got Philly tonight.
Philly's terrible.
Yeah, might want to look at some of those guys.
What do you think of Braun? What do you think of Braun? I'm worried they're going to blow New Orleans out. That's what I'm worried about.
Well, Braun always seems to do well against New Orleans because of the whole Zion. When they played that first game, Zion, tried to make a point, and then Braun had to make a point, and
Yeah, I'll go more on him. How about that?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to do a $5 flex play. 5 to win 35. All right, there you go. Lineup is submitted. There you go. Happy to do it. Prize Picks, download the Prize Picks app. Use a promo code Monty. You deposit $5, they'll give you 50 more instantly. Pretty easy peasy, my friends.
Good talk.
Pretty easy peasy. Have a Five Guys 5 minutes away, gained 15 pounds since it opened. Once in a very, very long while. I just got done eating a Beto's burrito.
Nice, Mike.
Why?
Mike Chase.
Why? I love Beto's pico salsa burrito. Have them add whole pinto beans.
So much better.
Fantastic. The Monty Show is always presented by the Advocates. Again, join us next Monday, 12:30 in the afternoon. We'll be at the Advocates donating blood. Make sure you get online, make an appointment. UtahBlood.org. Just search by date. And you'll be good to go. They only have 4 appointments left. 10 to 2 next Monday. UtahBlood.org. Search by date March 10th. Pick the Advocates in Midvale, Utah. Pick the Advocates. We'll be there. Walk up to me. The first one that walks up to me and says, "Hey, I watched your show." Bang, $100 Amazon gift card.
Boom.
All of my Utah listeners, let's do it next Monday, 12:30. The Advocates in Midvale. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.